Us Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. It's been a nice long break. How was everyone's Memorial Day weekend? What happened? What did you do? Linz, talk me through it.
Well, Tori, you already know I almost burned my house down. I just shared the story. I left the stove on and we went out of town, and luckily my neighbor Chris, shout out to him, came in and called the fire department, and they found out that my stove was on and the thing was all burnt to a crisp. And so I'm happy that our house is not.
Oh my God.
Did they have to like come in and?
No, it wasn't that bad. It just was a burnt. Colin bought all the new appliances for our house, so he's more offended that his stovetop burner is now not usable.
Decimated. Yeah, decimated.
But we'll get another one. Luckily, everything's okay and everybody's okay.
Oh my God.
And you went to?
But we did go to Houston to go get Michaela, my stepdaughter, and she hung out with Kinsley again. We brought her back for the summer. Also, Gia, that's Michaela right there. Gia is my niece, so they're both staying with us for the summer, and then Colin's mom is also staying with us. Kinsley had her first meal at the table, you see.
Oh my God. They're like our little mamas, no?
Yeah, she ate some mashed potatoes there, so we had a good time. I love Texas. I mean, that's like my second home, so we had fun. And everybody came back with us, so now we have a full house.
Summer's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a crazy summer. What about you guys?
Yeah, Erica, what about you?
I was hanging out. I did.
She's like, I had too many margaritas.
I was just hanging out. On Sunday, I was on Simone Sanders' show on MSNBC.
Oh, dope.
You look
which was really
gorgeous.
cool. That was great. So that was pretty much the, y'all remember that she shed.
Oh yeah, it brings
back in the she shed.
It brings back the quarantine memories.
Oh man.
I went. I walked around a lot of water. I'm trying to walk around a lot of water to like get the ions to help me out. So I walked around a little lake. There's no pictures of me. Oh, and I started a new cross stitch.
Where's the lake at?
I don't know.
I was like, that's not a lake.
I put up my twinkle lights, and then there's the lake.
Okay, beautiful
There's the lake. And guys, I got a new mattress with a Memorial Day sale.
Doorbuster.
Let me tell you, my back is aching.
What did you get?
I got a Stearns & Foster, longest mattress ever.
This is like a commercial.
Was on a Stearns & Foster. I got a cheap one last time, and my back is aching.
You know, at some point you deserve.
Lincoln.
You deserve to have a good night's sleep as an adult. I feel like that age should have been like.
Thank you. At 40,
No, you should have been a while ago, Tori. You deserve a good sleep, and your back needs some rest.
They say that you spend a lot of time in bed.
You spend most of your time.
I spend a lot of time crying in bed or just in bed. Anywho, we're taking a bit of a turn here. We like to welcome you with some warmth, but we are going to talk about some sad things, gun violence. It did not take a break this holiday weekend. There were, I can't believe I'm going to say this, at least 14 mass shootings from Saturday through Monday. 14. Meantime, in Florida, police arrested a 10-year-old for sending a threatening text message about a school shooting. The sheriff said, quote, right now is not the time to act like a little delinquent. It's not funny. The child made a fake threat, and now he's experiencing real consequences. That was a perp walk, and there's the mugshot. Of course, the sheriff released this. We are choosing not to show his face. If we can just get to, there we go, since he is a minor. Also in Florida, police arrested this 18-year-old man after he posted a photo of a rifle, a handgun, a tactical vest online, and captioned the photo, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest school." He has been charged with a felony. We have some information, inside information, not info.
I was like, double info.
That's a double. The 10-year-old's message said, quote, I scammed my friend along with some pictures of money. I bought this along with an image of 4 assault rifles, and then said, get ready for Water Day, which was a school-sponsored event. What do we think about a 10-year-old on a perp walk and a mugshot? Is that gone too far, or are we totally okay with this?
We don't have a choice. There are literally, clearly the deterrents aren't strong enough. And we're saying, if you see something, say something. So if you're seeing it and we're doing something in response, what else do we have? What else can we do? There can't be I know he's 10. And I know that your brain isn't fully developed. That's a part of the problem. So I don't have an issue with it. I really don't have an issue.
Lindsay?
I mean, as a mom, I was looking like this is the worst case scenario, but I also think a lot of that parenting comes in at home. And so some of these mass shooters, I've been like, where are their grandparents or parents that are not noticing any of these signs that we saw online? So I'm actually happy this happened. I don't know if his face needs to be blasted, but I do know that some repercussions, almost like that show Scared Straight, people really do get scared straight. And so they'll be like, I'm not going to act like this. I'm fearful because I know that once you start surrounding a kid with those type of images and arresting, then they kind of have like this rate of getting back into it because they feel like it's them against the world. And there's been studies that have proven kind of more in detail what I'm saying. So I hope that this is a lesson versus like something that makes him feel like he needs to continue to act out and lash out for attention. But it's really not a funny matter. Like, what can we do if you're not at home making sure your kid's not posting that, which is a hard task. But if you're not doing that, then somebody has to make sure they check them.
Right.
Because you can't just have images online or post stuff that you're going to kill people when people are actually dying with messages right before being posted saying what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just, I mean, the kid's 10. It's terrible, but also something has to happen. And people, I'm glad that people are telling on other people and authorities are actually looking at social media, because last week was like, oh, it's so hard to catch everybody. No, it looks like it was pretty simple in these
two
cases.
Totally. And for me, I'm like totally okay with it. If a 10-year-old can get shot in the face and has to hide under a thing, we can blast, in my mind, that 10-year-old's picture if he wants to do it to other kids. To me, totally okay. The deterrent needs to be stronger, and I think there needs to be more rules like red flag laws, which brings us to the next point. Our neighbor to the north, Canada. Hey! Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out to Karen.
Yeah, shout out to Karen and your husband. Canada is proposing some really strict new restrictions on guns. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau proposed a national freeze on all handgun sales. That would prevent importing, buying, or selling handguns. Now, Canada already has plans to ban 1,500 types of military-style assault firearms and will now have a mandatory gun buyback program that will begin at the end of the year. Your husband is a dual citizenship with Canada. This seems to make very clear sense to me. Other countries have done the same, and they have fewer mass shootings. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we had this conversation actually a few weeks ago with when my in-laws were in town too, because it seems as though the culture is so different.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say we're out and something flares up. Like, I've taken off out of a venue before because something broke out, like a fight broke out, and I've taken off and left Anthony behind because he refused to run. And I'm like, you have to know that when things get that heated, that someone can actually shoot you, and someone did get stabbed at that venue that night. And he just it never dawned on him. Like, we had two different ways of thinking. I was like, somebody's getting shot, and he's like, it's just a fight.
It's
and I'm
two
like,
different lenses.
That's a privilege to think it's just a fight. Because to me, it's always an ability for someone to pull out a gun. But he doesn't think like that. I think that I would love to live in a community, in a country where you don't have to think like that.
Right.
And clearly in Canada, they're not thinking like that.
Right. What do you think about this?
I mean, when we were in Texas, because I'm like, put on my journalist hat, I was on the bus to get our rental car asking like the whole bus about like what they felt about the gun laws and things like that. And a lot of people were telling me that they actually have guns in their home and they've collected them from like family passed down. They use it for protection of their house, for hunting. And I know they're different rifles, but to say the mandatory gun buyback, I think that's the problem, because there are people who need money in this country who will happily sell their gun for money. But when you tell people who are law-abiding citizens that you want to take their guns and it's a mandatory request, that kind of gets murky, because they are not the actual ones who did anything with these guns that have been in their lineage for 50, 60 years, almost 100 years. So it's kind of tough when I'm talking to people that I thought were respectful, nice, they didn't have any conspiracy theories, and they're telling me that side of the story. There is a conversation there, I think.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just think, just like you said, in America, it's baseball, apple pie, and guns now. That's our pastime, and in other countries, they don't have a culture like that. We are gun crazy, and unless we want to continue this, we need a whole new generation that has just much more restrictive gun laws, in my opinion. And you can come at me, and I know you will. Coming up on DBL, Leah Thomas is talking for the first time about all the controversy surrounding trans athletes competing in women's sports. What does she think about being at the center of this backlash?
Closed captioning provided by
This June, DBL isn't holding back.
I've already spent my time and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
I like a little cheese on my potatoes. That was what's going on in my head.
That's what we need more of, conversations in this country.
Like this show. Thank you. DBL is all new every day. Oh! Adam Thompson writes in, Erica, you were fabulous on CNN. You and Lindsay are moving on up. MSNBC, don't steal all of our hosts. Stop it. Also, I'm one too. Okay, spot on tour.
My house almost burned down. She's texting me like, are you kidding me?
Oh no, your mom? So tell us a little bit more about the stove, what it looks like really what happened. Are you needing a new stove?
No, you know how it's a fire stove, so a gas, so just the plate that goes on top.
I have a gas stove.
Yeah.
I have a gas stove.
So just the plate on top is like burnt to a crispy crisp.
Why, is it better to have gas than electric?
No, gas.
I have gas.
That's why my house don't like gas. The fire department was like, we're so loud. They had a huge fan in my house. I'm watching it on tape like, can we just, I want to fly back every time for every little thing. Like, I want to fly back. And I was like, okay, we're going to solve this. Colin's like calm.
Dang, Lindsay.
Yeah, it was.
I'm so glad that nothing bad happened.
I know. And the only reason nothing bad happened is because Chris, our neighbor, was watching our dog. So he was back and forth in our house. And he's like, something's not right. And Colin's like, it's fine. I'm like, no, let's just call the fire department.
Needs to be.
Yeah, he's just too calm. It's like, no, it wasn't fine.
It was not
fine. It wasn't fine. Are we switching or?
No. Oh. What are we doing?
Who's on? Nothing. I'm just getting my flyaways.
Yeah. Oh! You scared us, Dr. Coley. Oh, that was funny.
We're all just casually moving over. Okay. Yeah, I was like, they're so leisurely this morning.
I also wanted to, I know everyone's really, I also wanted to ask you something. BJ, let me ask you this. What do people think about when I say, and if you're a gun owner especially, I want you to answer this. When it says in the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia gets to have arms, that's the reason why. I don't think these guys are well-regulated.
Yeah.
What do we think about
it? Especially with kids.
Yeah.
15.
Welcome back. Now, for the first time, we're hearing from Leah Thomas. If you don't know, she's the UPenn swimmer who is at the center of the controversy about trans women competing in women's sports. A lot of folks, think she has a competitive advantage over cisgender female athletes. Here's some of what she said about it on GMA.
Trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions. There are cis women who are very tall and very muscular and have more testosterone than another cis woman, and should that then also disqualify them?
So I just want to start this conversation by saying that none of us up here think anything. We're not transphobic. This is an open, safe space to talk, I hope. And I would just say that I don't know. I feel a little uncomfortable still with Leah Thomas, and I want to be told if I'm not being correct or if I'm being wrong, because I know there's trans athletes out there are watching right now. I just feel like bigger muscles, bigger lungs, bigger shoulders equals unfair advantage as opposed to something else. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I know you said, we always talk about this because I believe that people should have equal treatment and everything that the trans community is fighting for.
For sure.
Right? So then sometimes the conversation conflicts, but there's not been definitive studies to me that I've been looking through. It's been back and forth, and some of them have been done in the UK, some of them have been done here, but showing that there could be an advantage there. So people are still wrapping their head around the idea that we want to be inclusive, but also want to figure out how to best make sure that we're starting with A and equal counterparts, and we're actually making this race fair. And so I agree with Leah, what was said about we're not transitioning to win in sports.
Of course.
Right? We're transitioning to be happy. And that should be the #1 focus. But when we're talking about specifically sports, a game that's all based on rules and fairness and equality, or supposed to be, because when anybody does anything else that's out of line or out of the bounds of the rules, then we are like, okay, they cheated or this. And so we need to just look at it specifically with no opinion and just find out the actual facts and when we make our own decision. Because even it seems like the Olympic committees and everything are kind of trying to stay away from it and pushing it back to college colleges and like just tell us the answer because
Right.
we're not experts in this field.
IOC, if you don't know, is leaving it up to this individual sport.
Right.
Exactly. Erica, what do you think about this? Lindsay, I appreciate that take.
Well, I think the fact that Leah had to say that we're not transitioning to get a competitive advantage, the fact that needs to be said at all tells you what's wrong with this conversation. It's very convoluted. People want to use their fears and their, feelings about something that isn't really about fears and feelings. It's about keeping up with our culture and the ever-changing way that people are able to be the truest version of themselves. So I think that part of it really speaks volumes about how politicized and how all of this really has nothing to do with what the topic is at hand. I want to hear from people who are affected on both sides, sit down and have this conversation.
yeah.
I want to hear from our doctors to sit down and have this conversation. I'm not interested in someone on Twitter just saying things to be loud and wrong because we don't know a lot.
Right, and it's a sensitive topic, right? You don't want to come at it with like machetes. You want to come at it with a scalpel to understand it. I think that's fair to say. All right, well, coming up, just as Erica said, Dr. Coley joins us to continue this conversation from a medical standpoint. Dr. Al Jackson couldn't make it. Does she think trans athletes have an unfair advantage? Let's get the medical take on it next.
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but, quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no. Simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common, and the do not call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the do not call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the do not call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion about Leah Thomas, and thank you for being here, Dr. Coley. She's going to give us her expert medical opinion, which is good to have because we don't have that.
Dr. Jackson isn't here.
Yeah, oh yeah, so we got you. Thank you so much for filling in.
Paige, yeah.
So I want to ask you, does experiencing male puberty give trans athletes like Leah Thomas an unfair advantage against their competitors?
You know, it's interesting, Lindsay, just as you said a few minutes ago, we don't really know, but the studies that we have so far suggest that yes, it does. Because when you undergo male puberty, there are certain changes that happen in your body size, your hand size, your foot size, your bone density, your bone size itself. And then you know that at baseline, men just have bigger lungs than women, for example. Now, some of that can get reversed when you give female hormones,
right,
because men also have higher blood counts than women, blood doping, but that part can get reversed, the muscle mass can get reversed, but some of them are really sort of stuck. So I think the fairest thing would be to have trans women compete against trans women and trans men compete against trans men. And I think mixing it like this really is messing up the playing field a little bit with some physiologic differences. There's also differences in the different sports.
Right.
So the studies have looked at this, and swimming actually has the least differential of some, but you can imagine that, for example, weightlifting might have a much bigger differential for trans athletes as opposed to cis ones.
Well, you mentioned the hormone replacement therapy because it reverses puberty, I guess. I'm asking you as a doctor, so shouldn't their biological advantage be small?
So let's be clear, it doesn't reverse puberty. Once puberty happens, it's sort of like the cells change, your body changes, and you can see with this athlete, her voice is still very deep, right? Because the voice deepens, the muscle mass changes, the density changes. Now, there's certain things that giving hormone replacement therapy, giving estrogen to her may change, like, for example, her muscle mass. So some people even argue that she's getting a little bit of a disadvantage because she's got a bigger body frame and she's got a female muscle mass propelling a male body frame. So it helps to kind of level the playing field, but it doesn't completely reverse the changes that have already happened during puberty.
Interesting. All right, well, we are going to switch gears here. We can't ignore it, right? The Texas tragedy, the mass shooting that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, or the 14 other mass shootings that happened over Memorial Day weekend. A lot of people blame those shooting massacres on mental health. It's mental health, mental health. So is that fair to say? Will a mental health disorder cause someone to commit a mass shooting, doctor?
I think mental health is a cop-out, and I'm so tired of hearing it as a medical professional, because it is just one piece of what might lead somebody to cause a mass shooting. But let's kind of break this down, guys. So number one, mental health disorders occur all over the world, right? Yet the United States is the only country that has this level of mass shooting. So how do you explain that if it's all mental health? And number two, in order to carry out a mass shooting, you have to be organized. You have to get the gun, you have to have a plan, you have to carry it out. Someone who's really psychotic and has mental health disorders, they're not that organized. And so it's a little bit of a cop-out to blame this. And at the end of the day, even if you want to blame mental health, how does the person with mental health carry out the problem? Using guns. We have 323 million people in the United States. Any guesses as to how many guns people own?
I think we have more than one per person.
400 million.
Yeah.
98% of them owned by civilians. So the bottom line is, whether you want to blame mental health or not, which I really think is a bit of a cop-out, it still means we need to limit access to guns, because people with mental health disorders should not be able to get access to guns if that's what you think the problem is.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much, Dr. Coley, and I appreciate you giving your opinion on that. If you have a question or if you'd like Dr. Coley to answer, please write us on social media or info@dailyblastlive.com. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kreska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy, and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that, no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found two posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So, no, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. Did you know that shorter workouts can be super effective? Yay!
I know, I'm about to say this is the best.
This is for me and Linz. It sounds too good to be true, but it's not. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. According to an exercise psychologist, even 1 minute of exercise can improve your health. Do this by building your heart rate over time. Start at using about 60% of your heart rate maximum and aim to get yourself up to around 90%. Biking, stairs, even resistance training like lifting weights can get your heart rate up. It can build muscle and improve your overall health over time. QB is such a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more. You may have seen this over the weekend. I don't know if you know this, but the Mona Lisa was vandalized on Sunday. You didn't see this?
No.
It was a cake day when a man disguised as an elderly woman in a wheelchair smeared cake over. Now it's glass. It's behind glass, and it's bulletproof. First of all, and the painting was unharmed. Now the man who did it right there told the crowd in French, "Think about the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. This is why I did it. Think about the planet."
Gosh, just why do people do things like this to get their point across? Even with PETA, like throwing red, whatever they paint on people, it's like, that is not effective. Let's not do this. Let's not attack things and people that are not yours to prove a point. Why don't you just start a campaign? That usually worked out in our history, set up a march.
Yeah, change.org.
Yeah, you can even do it online.
And the cake is so interesting. What's also funny is I studied the Mona Lisa. She always looked hungry to me. A little hungry. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. I'm also hungry.
I am too.
Right?
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with the knee now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yeah.
DBL is all new every day.
talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A 10-year-old gets arrested for threatening to shoot up his school, the chilling text messages that tipped off police. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas talks about battling controversy in a new interview.
Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions.
An A-list actor goes unrecognizable for his new role. Can you guess who this is? And Tom Cruise has his biggest opening weekend ever with Top Gun Maverick. How the movie even brought grown men to tears.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We are back after the Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody had some downtime with the fam. What'd you do? First of all, I'm walking around. I walked around a lot of lakes. I'm doing a lot of water, trying to cleanse and kind of go neutral. And then I bought a mattress. This is very exciting. And I started a new cross stitch.
Oh.
And I put my twinkle lights up with my peonies.
I love it. Your peonies are beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you so
really
much.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, you know what's crazy is that moment has passed where we make fun of you for your cross stitch. You're really good now.
Thank
so
you.
I can't even make fun anymore.
The most divine pillowcases.
They're so cute.
Yeah,
the girls got
them.
skills. Yes.
Ooh.
I had a great weekend. I did the Vail Comedy Festival this weekend.
Oh,
So yeah,
Nice.
so I stayed up there. It was beautiful. That's me with the booker and me on stage. And then I found out my best friend in the world, Mark Petty, Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out Cleveland. He's the one that came up with calves. I told you. The guy that came up with calves is having a baby. So my best friend, and I'm the godfather. So like, big deal this weekend. Yeah, it was a big deal. And that's him with baby Ford, and then that's Ford all grown up. So that's a text we exchanged.
Wow.
Yeah, and then finally today's my mom's birthday. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Jackie. Yes.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday to her. What about you?
Wow, that was a good
Yeah.
one. I got nothing, man. We just chilled with the family, barbecued, hung out with some neighbors. Same old, man. I keep it simple. Yeah.
I love it.
I took a page from Jeff's book.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I need to do a home project because being a mom, I'm always with the kids. I said, Mark, I want to do a home project. So what I did is I refinished our outdoor dining table.
Hey!
Completely refinished it. Look at the plants underneath.
We sat at that table.
Look at the plants under.
That's gorgeous.
Yep.
Is that a glossy black?
No, it's satin. I didn't want glossy. It is satin, and I had to strip it. I had to prime it. That's the old version. Look at the old version.
That's impressive.
Compared to the new version. So yeah, I took a page from Jeff's book and I did some home projects, and then our neighborhood pool, like yours, opened up. Sophie, for 2 years, has been contemplating going off the diving board. She did it.
No.
There she
Stop.
is.
No, here we go.
She did it.
And she did not hesitate. That's the thing you need in life. You just got to go do it. If you think about it, it's over.
That's
what's up.
So that's all we did. We did, a little Home Depot, a little Bed Bath & Beyond,
If there's time.
There's time. We're going to do a big shift because I know that we're laughing and we had a great weekend, but the reality is, sadly, gun violence did not get a break this weekend. That's what we're dealing with. There was at least 14 mass shootings from Saturday through Monday. That's hard to say out loud. Meantime, in Florida, police arrested a 10-year-old, yes, a 10-year-old, for sending a threatening text message about a school shooting. The sheriff said, quote, right now is not the time to act like a little delinquent. It's not funny. This child made a fake threat, and now he's experiencing real consequences. The sheriff also released the child's mugshot. We're choosing not to show his face. He is a minor. He's 10. Also in Florida, police arrested this 18-year-old after he posted a photo of a rifle, a handgun, and tactical vest online. He captioned the photo, quote, hey Siri, directions to the nearest school. He has been charged with a felony. Tori, I believe you have additional details in regard to the 10-year-old.
I do. The 10-year-old text message is what we actually have. So these are the quotes. It first starts with, I scammed my friend, and then there's a picture of money. Then it says, I bought this, and it has an image of 4 assault rifles. Again, this is the 10-year-old. And then finally, the third one says, get ready for Water Day. That is in reference to the school-sponsored event in which he was going to do it. He says it was fake. The sheriff's response says, if you press a trigger, the aftermath is the same regardless of your age. I'm glad that he had a perp walk. I'm glad that he had a mugshot.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Are you crazy?
No, because if a 10-year-old can get shot in the face and have to hide from a shooter, we can see a 10-year-old that's threatening to shoot others. I am so angry with no deterrence that at least something is being done. I know you guys disagree.
I am sorry, Sam. I'm talking over you. We had a chance to do something, and we stood outside and held the parents back. Having some kind of photographic image to like show the people like some kind of propaganda, like we're doing something about it. We had a chance to do something about it, and the cops with their heavy assault rifles stood outside. So I think showing a picture and giving some lip service to like this is what's going to happen to you. No, we need to put in real. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if that's going to help.
But I'm saying this is one wheel of the spoke.
And potentially ruining his life. Jeff, I want to hear from you.
I'm with Tori on this one. Listen, we are not doing anything. And I've sat up here multiple times and said, we're not doing anything, not even an orange road cone. This is an orange road cone, right? This is going to affect that child's future. He's 10 years old. If he has parents like me, myself, I would say, you don't post things like that. Now you're going to do the time or do whatever punishment comes your way, or if you have to go away to some sort of boarding school, whatever it is. It's something. It's one spoke in this tire that needs to be fixed. At least somebody's doing something. Maybe we prevented 2 mass shootings by these.
More.
Of course there is. But I'm saying we're doing nothing. Legislation is doing nothing. We need to, as Americans, start doing something. Even as crazy as it sounds, as a 10-year-old, if my kid was 10, it did something like this, I would want him to face some consequences.
Let me be crystal clear here. Should there be consequences? 1,000%. Should we use this child, just like we're using children to be the face, the soldiers of gun violence, should we use this child and further shame them? In my opinion, no. Does that mean that they still have to go suffer those consequences? Yes. I don't think that the rest of their lives should be ruined. Let me just tell you how many other mass shootings occurred. Okay, over the weekend, or threats, I should say, that were thwarted. This is according to Shannon Watts. We all know her as the head of Moms Demand Action. I have my first meeting on Wednesday, by the way.
Bravo, Sandy.
So I am taking action. But there was an 18-year-old we just talked about in Florida, right, that was arrested. There is 4 teenagers in Texas that were arrested who were about to quote unquote, carry out a threat to a school. There's also a 16-year-old in Queens who was arrested for threatening to shoot up his school. There's a list too long for me, unfortunately, to read to our viewers of how many kids were arrested over the weekend because of their threats. Now, of course, something needs to be done.
But the math is right, Sam. I sit up here and I give statistics and nobody cares. 700 mass shootings last year. Nobody cares. But do the math. That's almost double. 365 days in a year. After a week, that's about 14. That's what happened in the last week. The math is correct. It's right on.
Why do you think
people are
acting out? Why do you think?
I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's there's no repercussions. I'm not a senator. I'm not in charge of anything like that. But start doing something. I'm glad somebody's doing something. We stopped 14 mass shootings, right? 14 people were caught over the weekend.
Yeah.
We could be talking about something completely different. But unfortunately, there were a lot of shootings in Chicago over the weekend. There was a lot of shootings that we just don't talk about unless they top the last mark. You know?
Sad. It's really sad.
We have people to normally handle this. They're called senators.
Yeah, they're chosen to do
why
nothing.
Can't mental health and gun reform be right? Why is the far left all about gun reform and the far right all about mental health? Why can't both be true? Why can't you guys work together?
They do. 88% of them. It's just what we're being told. 88% of us agree. 88% of us.
Yeah, we don't matter though, Tori. They're the ones that are making the
vote them out. Vote them out.
Coming up on DBL, Leah Thomas is talking for the first time about the controversy, surrounding trans athletes competing in women's sports. What does she think about being at the center of the backlash? And an A-list actor completely transforms for his latest role. Can you guess who this is?
Closed captioning provided by...
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're going to get. If we're going to be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
Okay, let's talk in a second. I just want to,
I think we're going to have to get used to these hard
I just
want to
say really quickly, if you dig deeper into the 10-year-old, that sheriff that he was arrested by, that sheriff doesn't do anything to help with gun legislation. That sheriff doesn't do anything to help with, is somebody that backs the NRA, somebody that, so instead of that sheriff using this child as the face to change gun reform, how about that sheriff and other people in positions of power start to do actual, real work when it curbs to gun reform?
I look at the ages of the.
And the kid should have been arrested, though. I want to say that. I just don't think the kid should have been paraded around.
In the wheel, that curb walk. I think it's a deterrent.
But
I agree with Jeff.
But we're not talking about the sheriff who doesn't do anything to help.
I agree,
reform,
but
who's in bed with the NRA.
I agree, but we can't have all or nothing. I want something at least to be done, right? So if even one spoke is being done, and that spoke is, look at this guy on
Tarnishing
TV.
that child for the rest of his
He
life.
put out that I'm going to shoot up a school.
Tarnishing, how about tarnishing all the parents that were victims of just the Texas shooting alone? The ripple effect of 19 children, 2 teachers, 2 parents, one has a heart attack, one was murdered, now 4 kids. So when there's a 10-year-old, one life at risk, when you could prevent something like that, I'm all for it.
I agree, but I don't think the kid should go ahead. No, you go.
I think that's where we need to go. I think there needs to be some punishment, almost like if you left your keys in the car and your kid took it and
But you're
did
not
something.
leaving your keys. You're talking about someone being mass murdered.
You're being
I played him in school.
I don't.
30.
Very, very.
Welcome back. For the first time, we are hearing from Leah Thomas. If you don't know, she's the UPenn swimmer who was at the center of the controversy about trans women competing in women's sports. Now, a lot of folks think she has a competitive advantage over cisgender female athletes. Here's some of what she said about it on GMA.
Trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions. There are cis women who are very tall and very muscular and have more testosterone than another cis woman, and should that then also disqualify them?
Tori, what do you think about what she said?
I would just want a disclaimer. I know you do that a lot. I have 0 problems with people transitioning, and I'm happy she said it's not for the sport. I still have an issue here with just, in my eyes, her lungs are bigger, her shoulders are bigger. I know muscle mass is different because of what she has to do, but I'm not fully comfortable, I'll be super honest with you, in them racing together. And if that sounds awful, I don't mean it to be. I'm just saying I'm still learning. I'm still educating myself, I guess.
But what would the flip side be?
That trans people would compete against other trans. I know, and that's
There's not very many trans athletes,
very
so
few.
you're segregating then.
Otherwise, though, is it an unfair advantage in a sport that's all about rules and games and
But
efficiency?
there's like 1 in a million. I just want to make that very clear. This isn't an epidemic. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, and there's not that many. And when we talk about competitive advantage, I mean, Jeff, you and I watch sports all the time. The first couple games of every college football season, it's literally a team that has 30 or 40 future professional players playing against like a team that probably was out at the bar last night. Small schools with less than 1,500 students. And it's a money exchange really between these large schools to warm up for the season and these small schools. There's a ton of competitive advantage that is really just disjointed and unbalanced throughout college sports. So I think the idea of just looking at fair and balance in terms of that issue is that's not the issue we should be talking about. The issue is, can you name another college female swimmer?
Thank you.
Because if you can't, then this is really just an issue about trans people. If you really are concerned about competitive balance in women's swimming.
But do you understand what I'm saying? When I think the body.
And I think something should be done. Like, we should have more research. But I don't know if it's just we're looking at this strictly because the people here are concerned about competitive balance, because we saw the difference in weight rooms when it was the women and the men's Final Four. So that wasn't an issue then. So why is it now?
Let me take your argument that you said about like bigger schools like Alabama going to play
and
like
played college football.
Right. To go play a school like me, right? We're not talking about college football teams with professional athletes beating up on a women's team. okay? That's a totally different game. We don't do that because it's not fair. Right? So when someone transitions over, again, I'm with Tori on this. I have nothing against trans people or them trying to compete in anything, but as soon as you say that, this is why I'm against cancel culture and labels. You just get labeled transphobic, and then you're
pleasant conversation.
Right, but I'm saying people out there just say you're transphobic. I don't think it's fair, right? That's all I have to say. But on that same breath, we just talked about schools being shut up, what we should do about this reform and that reform. I'm more concerned about schools being shot up at the rate that they are, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, hey, let's look over here and talk about trans athletes, and now I'm mad at that guy on TV for saying something I don't think he should have. Let's stay focused as Americans. In the scheme of things, I don't even care what you do. I don't care if you come in first or break a record, you come in last. I care about the future of our children. And we're so distracted with these little things that get on people's nerves, and then you lose focus on what's really important.
Can I just say something?
Even though it is important, it is important.
It is,
that sounded like a presidential kickoff right there, Jeff.
He's running. He's running. Look at him. Jeff's running.
I'd rather live on Gilligan's Island than run for president.
But that's kind of what we want. We want a president that doesn't really want to be president.
Is Gilligan's Island a real island?
I'll look for it.
No.
Coming up, Dr. Coley is going to join us to continue this conversation from a medical standpoint. Does she think that trans athletes have an unfair advantage?
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but, quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no. Simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common. And the do not call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the do not call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the do not call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion about Leah Thomas, and Dr. Coley joins us to give her expert medical opinion.
All right, Doc, let's get right. Yes, happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. We're going to jump right in. Now, does experiencing male puberty give trans athletes like Leah an unfair advantage against competitors?
I have to be honest, in my opinion, I think absolutely. Because there is a difference between a man and a woman in their lung size. So women have lungs that are 10 to 15% smaller than men. That's not something that's going to change with the hormones. Once you've gone through puberty, your bone density, your body mass, your muscle mass, all of those change. Now, some of that can be reversed with hormones like muscle mass, but not your bone mass or your bone size. Let's talk about the hand size. Men are just bigger, right? So if you're talking about a sport like swimming, and Sam, you know, your hands are used to propel you. So if you've got bigger hands, you're going to be able to propel yourself a little bit more efficiently. So I think it's just not a level playing field. I think we need to have trans women compete against trans women and trans men against trans men and have a cis and a trans category.
All right, so Doc, you were talking about hormone replacement therapy. Does that reverse puberty in any way?
It can't. I mean, think about it. And you can hear in Leah Thomas's voice, it is so deep, right? That's not something you can reverse. So it's almost changes the cells in your body in a way that some of those changes can't be reversed. Now, some things can get reversed. So muscle mass is one of them. Blood counts, which tend to be higher in men, if you switch them to estrogen, the counts will go back to kind of what women have. And that's why they say that waiting period of 1 to 2 years to sort of help some things reverse. But everything just doesn't go back the way it was before. Now, it might be totally different had she transitioned before puberty.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I think that's
think
kind of
about
the
that.
yeah.
But is that something that is ethical to do?
I mean, kids are actually going trans. There's a lot of pediatricians that are writing books about kids on how to be trans, but the medical community is very divided about it because, as you all know, there's a lot of sexual identity issues that are normal during puberty, where you're exploring, you're not sure where to settle, and if you do it before puberty, it could potentially have more long-lasting effects.
Is it fair to say we just need to learn more? And in the meantime, just to be compassionate, right? And just have conversations like this without it
sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. You know?
We need to learn more.
Right.
We need to learn more, and I think that's the biggest thing. We need to fund research and science in this because it's now becoming something that more people are doing. So we need to learn more about it. As a cardiologist, I'm always at a loss when I see a trans patient because I don't know what their cardiovascular risk is.
Right.
Should I put them in the male category, in the female category? How do I assess their risk and how do I treat it? So we need more research, Sam.
I never thought
Maybe
about that.
research will be done by you. We'll be looking at a big statue of you like you did all the research.
Oh, statue, I like that.
Wouldn't that be funny? Coley. All right, we are going to take a hard turn here, and I know that's not easy, but this is what we do on the show because that's how the world is. We can't ignore the tragedy in Texas and the mass shootings that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, or the 14 other mass shootings that happened over Memorial Weekend, just that weekend. Now, a lot of people out there blame this on mental illness, and from a doctor's point of view, can you say if you are mentally ill, will that cause someone to commit a mass shooting?
I am so sick and tired of hearing mental illness being blamed for these mass shootings. You know, as a medical professional, of course, mental health, mental illness, psychotic breaks, delusions can be a part of it. But that doesn't explain what's happening in our country, guys. We really need to think about these shootings as a public health issue. Because if you look at other countries where they have just as much mental health issues, perhaps even more, because they're underdiagnosed and undertreated, they're not having this kind of health crisis. The CDC just released a report a few weeks ago. Guess what the #1 cause of death is amongst our kids and adolescents?
Guns.
It's got to be guns. Related violence.
Here in the United States.
Highest cause, higher than anything else, and for the first time ever. And the curve looks like this. So to me, this is a public health issue. We cannot use mental health as a cop-out, and I think I'm annoyed when people say it's all mental health. And I like the point you made, Sam, which was that there's some mental health, but gun control and access to guns is a big piece of it.
I hope we'll get there. I really do, for our future's sake. Thanks, Dr. Coley. We appreciate you. If you guys have a question you'd like Dr. Coley to answer, write to us on social media or info@dailybosslive.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kreska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy, and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention, and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found 2 posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So, no, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. You may have seen this over the weekend. The Mona Lisa was vandalized on Sunday when a man disguised as a elderly woman in a wheelchair smeared cake over it. Not to worry, it's behind bulletproof glass. The painting was unharmed. The man who did it told the crowd in French, "Think about the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. This is why I did it. Think about the planet."
Yeah, this is, I mean, I'm not making light of this, but this is the mental health issue we're talking about. Like, in this person's head, he was like, you know what I'm going to do? Get some cake, and I'm going to change things. And this is why when we were talking about during the break, full disclosure, Jeff, about how the mental health issue is a lot of times used as a cop-out to the shooting. This person has real mental health issues, but this is how they manifest themselves. Somebody going through the painstaking process of getting a gun, having it sent to them, loading it, scouting the location, sending threats on Facebook, following up with those Facebook threats. That's not mental health. That's something that's dogmatic and practical. Yes.
Yeah. Well said. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblesslive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Tom Cruise has his biggest opening weekend ever with Top Gun Maverick. How the movie even brought grown men to tears. And can you guess this actor who transformed for his latest role? A lot of people say he's unrecognizable. We'll reveal who it is next.
We are sorting through some of these claims to make sense of whatever we can following this shooting. So we want to verify, do mass shootings, defined here as 5 or more people injured or killed, lead to a spike in gun sales? To find out, we talked with Jurgen Brower. He's the co-founder and chief economist at Small Arms Analytics and Forecasting, a research firm that focuses on firearms, and looked at 2 studies. The answer is a bit tricky.
It depends very much on which kind of mass shooting it is. Not all mass shootings are equal in their secondary effects.
Secondary effects, meaning how the media, lawmakers, and the public react to a tragedy. Studies show that a spike in gun purchases or background checks doesn't always happen. This 2019 Journal of the American Medical Association Network study found that from 1998 to 2016, of 124 major mass shootings, 21% were associated with increased gun purchases, but 17% were actually associated with decreases.
The shooting in Las Vegas a few years ago, or the shooting at the Orlando, Florida nightclub, those have not led to a really statistically noticeable increase in firearms demand and sales.
However, Brower says experts believe the mass shootings involving young children seem to have the most association with increased gun sales. A 2017 Annals of Internal Medicine study found that in the wake of Sandy Hook, 3 million more firearms were purchased than in typical years. So we can verify that no, not all mass shootings correlate directly with an increase in gun sales. Whether or not this one will lead to that or any further firearms legislation, we'll be watching. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So one movie crushed the box office this weekend. Can you guess which one? Take a look.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking. Today's exercise is dogfighting.
2 versus 1? He's got to be kidding.
That's right. Top Gun Maverick not only won the box office, but it also broke a bunch of records. It is the highest grossing opening for Memorial Day weekend ever. It's also Tom Cruise's first film to go over the $100 million mark on opening weekend. And now it seems the movie has brought grown men to tears, with many sharing stories of hearing sobbing in the theater. This person tweeted, "Shout out to the guy next to me whose girlfriend made fun of him for crying at the end." Glenn Powell, who stars in the film, responded saying the flick should be a safe place for man tears. I hate that this is even a thing.
What? Well, it's funny. It's funny if you're crying and your girlfriend's making fun of you a little bit. It's kind of a funny thing. Because I do
I should
that.
have laughed. You're
No,
right.
I do that too. My wife.
Cry.
No, I cry like commercials now. My wife. Ever since I had kids, I've become more emotional. My wife's become the Tin Man. With no heart.
She told me that.
Yeah, and she doesn't care. I'm like, oh my God, that Snuggles the Downy Bear is so cute. And she's like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So I want to go and have some man tears with this movie. But what I'm shocked about is this is Tom Cruise's first movie that went over 100 million in the opening weekend.
How is that possible?
That seems crazy.
Dude, we've just going to the theaters anymore?
We just looked it up because I was like, there has to be a mistake. I assumed it made over 100. It didn't.
Well, I think because if you go see this movie in IMAX, a ticket's $198. That's never happened.
People went to see
I believed you. I was like, that is expensive.
Did any of you see it?
I watched the original with Brooks, my husband, who had never seen it. Hold up.
Wait, what?
No.
Did you just say you watched the one from
30 years
1986, and may I just say, it's good to get a refresh if you're going to see a sequel. I'm going to go.
Did you see the sequel?
No.
Okay.
So then why?
Because I wanted to just let everyone know how good the original Top Gun is.
Do you think our producers had the question, has anybody seen the original
We've
Top
all
Gun?
seen the original.
We all assume
Recently?
that yes.
Jeff, did you see it?
I'm
surprised.
Full disclosure, we have a different show that we've discussed this. Tori went on for over 3 minutes, and I was like, so did you watch it? And she goes, no. After 3 minutes of talking.
Now, we all want to see it, really bad.
yes.
I'm surprised you didn't see it.
No, well, I asked my kids to go see it, and they didn't want to see it, but now I'm just going to go during the week. Plus, I didn't want the craziness if my kids are going to be a little rambunctious. I'm going to go see it during the week, get a matinee, hit the IMAX, maybe only $120 to take it.
Okay. All right, so Netflix put out some
What was
new...
that?
Sorry. What was I didn't even know what that
I went,
was.
and then I just stopped. Apologies.
Okay. So some new photos to promote their upcoming movie, Maestro, and it's causing buzz on social media. That's because people are saying the actor is completely unrecognizable. First, let's see if we can guess the actor. So here is the photo making the rounds, okay? Who do you guys think the actor is? Now, I'm not going to ask Tori and Jeff because they already know, but Al, we don't know. I thought Steve Martin, but no. That's
No, that's a good guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My guess is going to be really bad.
Say it.
I think it's. Is it Ed Sheeran with like, you know, with prosthetics?
Singer?
Yes. He's a singer.
I know.
dude.
He's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's the most random.
But can't you see it?
Ed Sheeran.
Yes, that's what I'm going
As a leading man for a famous person, Ed
It
Sheeran's.
was a shot in the dark. As you can see, I'm not really sold on it. I'm like,
You sound weak. Reveal. You like heard Ed Sheeran's name like 30 minutes ago, and that's why you said it. Okay, I'm gonna reveal it.
Here we go.
It is. Whoa. Bradley Cooper.
Yep.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
Whoa, good on
He
him.
looks just like him, doesn't he?
Amazing. The wrinkles on the face are unbelievable. And yeah, I know a lot about Leonard Bernstein.
You do, I know.
Yeah.
So talk to us, because he's a composer.
Conductor, very famous conductor, very Rodgers and Hammerstein level. So he wrote everything for West Side Story.
Why wouldn't you say John Williams level?
Because that's, I guess, because I also like Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Okay, sorry.
He does musicals too, Candide. I mean, and he's just a fabulous, if you ever study conducting or composing, he is like the top of the top of the top. So we got to choose who to be in school and pretend and give a list of who we were, and everyone chose cool people in history, and I chose Leonard Bernstein.
Wow.
Did you, Jeff, in college take conducting 101?
I thought you were talking about a train.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was like, why did you tell us he was a dual threat? Yeah, that's...
No, he's obviously very respected, very
renowned. Yes.
Well, you know what I first thought of? I think Bradley Cooper is going to kill it, right? Yeah. I'm all for it. But we always jump to the other side, right? And go, well, how come an older gentleman couldn't play this part? Why does Bradley Cooper get this part with prosthetics? Why don't we have that same argument about this?
Because he's probably going to play him young. So he has to be able to do both.
Well, we don't know that, but why are we having that argument?
I love that you said that, Jeff, because I remember we had, I think it was Renee Zellweger on here, and she didn't want to talk about wearing a fat suit, which I understand, but she gave a very eloquent answer that I think no one ever talked about. On our show, she said, it's a tool that an actor used to, no different than if you put a muscle suit on for Superman. And so I like the idea of having an actor with prosthetics, but I do want other actors that do maybe, whatever.
To Jeff's point, we have Ray Vibe says they could have used Harrison Ford and used a lot less makeup.
No, I think he's going to play it younger. He was he was a big up-and-coming young guy, smoking cigarettes and writing deep into the night. I think you need that young face too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this story got us thinking about some other very famous transformations. Remember this one? Yep, Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers from the 2019 movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
But it still looks like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it does. That's not a
looks just like
he just
Tom
put
does.
a tie on.
Yeah. He's holding a shoe.
Tom Hanks with a red sweater.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Wait, who's the guy on the left?
How about this one? Jennifer Hudson as the iconic Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Jennifer Hudson with an updo.
But she kind of, I thought the transformation would be like if you lost 70 pounds or something like that.
Oh, like the machinist?
Christian Bale. Yeah.
Well, maybe he's on here. Let's
That would have been a good answer when Megan asked me an hour ago. Yeah.
Okay, who can forget Lady Gaga as Patrizia Reggiani in the House of Gucci?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff's Italian. I just don't want to.
I'm offended.
Offend you.
Yeah, I'm offended.
Sorry.
It's cultural appropriation. I'm going to have to go talk to HR. You might get a call too.
Mamma mia.
Tori's favorite.
And Tori will be called down as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're in now. You and I.
Who?
Going upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but Tori, your favorite, Nicole Kidman is Lucille
come
Ball.
on.
Tori, come on.
I'm sorry, that's terrifying. That's stuff of nightmares.
What?
Look at her eyebrows. She looks nothing like her.
She does.
She looks just like her.
Dude, people online, please back me up. I know they will.
Let's see.
They can hear. I can hear them now.
Look, you need to talk to the people about your real issues with that.
I think you are not a cinematic actual fan. I absolutely saw it in when we were in Cape Cod with my father-in-law, and we both thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
How do you call Al not a cinematic fan when he throws out names like Ed Sheeran? He knows exactly what's going on.
You know the redheaded guy? The singer guy.
Who is that? Justin Bieber. No.
All right. Well, at the time of this taping, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is still in the hands of the jury. But Johnny doesn't look to be too nervous about the outcome because this weekend, I don't know if you guys saw this picture. I certainly did, floating around. The actor made a surprise appearance at a concert in England. Watch. This was strategic, Tori.
Oh, Dude, okay, you think you should have been doing that? I think it's a bigger question.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
What'd you say,
your snarky comment? What was
What'd you say?
Should he have been singing? I think is the bigger question. That was not great.
It didn't sound
That's like
great.
when your brother-in-law is hammered at your wedding. Like, I'm going to sing a song. It's like, don't. It's bad.
It was a Jeff Beck concert, and I 1,000% agree with Sam. To me, this is legal strategy. I'm already taking a victory lap. I already have the confidence. I'm so positive that this is going to go my way that I'm going to put myself back out as the Johnny Depp. Depp, the rocker. And I think maybe some juries will get word of this. Maybe they will feel it. The confidence is there to me, complete strategy.
Okay.
I just think he's won already. I've said this on the show before. It doesn't matter the outcome. He doesn't need the $50 million, right? To that point, is moot.
Yeah. Jeff, you're like really becoming like something.
But that's not like a big word score if I spelled mood,
It's
right?
real exciting though.
All right.
It's just I do like that you stopped and took a victory lap during mood. You're like,
Yeah, because I don't get to use it that often. But yeah, so he won either way. So in his eyes,
Public opinion, he won.
right. So I think he will start getting jobs back because where he came from before this trial started, Johnny Depp beats women and he's the scum of the earth, and now everyone's like, wow, I'm Team Johnny again. So in my mind, he's won, no matter what the outcome of the case is.
Apparently, Beetlejuice is looking at recasting him. Did you hear about that?
I heard.
Oh, that might be big.
Yeah, and like Winona Ryder?
I know,
History, what's
reunion.
going to happen there? Interesting.
I think that would be huge.
I love me some
All right.
Beetlejuice. Love.
Don't say it one more time.
Beetlejuice. I would love if he came right down here and sat right next to me. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
But now you said it more than 3 times.
Now he left because he's like,
I don't want everything.
It's very annoying. I'm leaving.
I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay, so it looks like that COVID has started a new trend because according to experts, breaking plans last minute is the new norm. And our Tori knows this, in our post-COVID world, the pandemic.
Tori did it pre-pandemic as well.
Yeah, Tori does have a history
I'm not
of
a
that.
flake. You guys think I am, and I'm not. I'm always there. Always. Almost too much.
If we had a body language expert on right now, you're lying.
Okay.
Yeah, your hands are out.
So the pandemic made us accustomed to plans falling through, and apparently we are continuing that trend. Tori?
Oh my gosh. I'm not someone that cancels. I don't know why I got this. Maybe kind of ditzy and flighty, but I'm always there
But what about other people? Let's talk about them too on the show.
Okay, but I'm simply saying that the new meme that you see is someone leaving, checking their phone, saying, oh no, we have to cancel, and they're like so excited to get to jump back in bed. That's just like what everyone's secret dream kind of is.
But why do you think it's last minute?
Yeah, why not tell me 3 hours before I got a babysitter?
Yeah, you didn't just find out. No. I'm saying this imaginary person didn't. So like,
let's call her Maury.
I think you feel, thank you. I've always shown up. 99% of life is showing up. I will say this. I think they feel guilty, and so they wait to the very end because they don't want to say no, and they wait.
I talked about that this weekend.
What?
It's happening, like a lot of the COVID cancellations. And here's my theory. I think a lot of people during COVID realized, because I think about your husband a lot. Your husband like is very introverted. I think a lot of people were like, I like this lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep telling people I'm going to meet my staff out for drinks for a happy hour. Some people don't like that. Some people don't want to go to a banquet dinner for somebody's kid. And I think a lot of people are like, I want to go back to kind of COVID lifestyle. So they're starting to agree to things again, but they're like, I don't want to.
But then don't go.
Right.
Just don't say you're going to go. Just say I don't feel like going.
It's hard.
Instead of giving like an excuse that nobody's buying.
But it is. There's a guilt there. There's a sense of I don't want to say. For people pleasers, it's hard to say no, even though it's worse.
But then you
I know
cause
that.
more damage.
I
But
know.
I will say, when someone cancels on me, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. See?
Because I'm the introvert. You think my husband is? My husband goes and plays pool like by himself or with his dad all the time. Bert knows this. He's like shaking his head. And so does Chris. But for me, I'm the one that just likes to be on the couch and watch Netflix and just do nothing. So if I make plans with someone and then they cancel, I'm like, oof. Just chill.
Yeah. But it has nothing to do with the pandemic for me. It's all about kids, right? If you don't want to go somewhere, kid threw up. But then you don't know if you're lying or not because they are just throwing up all the
Have you
time.
ever used that excuse and Leighton or Lawson didn't throw up?
I don't know if I have. I like going places. I like socializing. But a lot of times they just throw up. We missed our graduation. He just woke up, threw up, by graduation.
Where's the body language expert for?
Because I'm trying to think if Tori asked me and I'm like, probably.
So mean. Coming up on DBL, Jamie Lee Curtis officiates her daughter's wedding in costume. We're talking about their unique celebration next.
Closed captioning provided by.
And I said, sir.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're going to get. If we're going to be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
To Brandon Allen's point of view, who just writes don't be a people pleaser. I've spent a lot of money on therapy trying not to, so I appreciate that, but I need more help on that. It's not as easy. But I'm trying to please you.
When somebody invites you,
Okay.
especially when
I'll let it breathe for a
and they
minute.
don't give you a date, they're like, oh, when, you know, when.
Don't go, I'm going to take it somewhere else with this cosplay.
You know,
so
like,
go to them first.
Okay.
But yeah, if somebody
We're not going to go to him first, though, Patty.
No,
He doesn't want to go first.
Okay, then, okay. People pleasing, can I be honest?
because Brandon said that first talk
It's the
about
most
weddings.
inefficient waste of
Do you
people's
want me just to go
time.
right into it?
Inefficient waste of my time. Me and
They'll
Sam
have
share
something to say
this. Go
about
ahead,
weddings.
Sam.
She's a wedding planner or whatever.
I have been working really hard on changing that.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I could give advice that I've learned through therapy is that if someone asks you to do something, instead of immediately being the people pleaser of like, yeah,
Which I do.
just say, let me think about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'll get back to you. No, just say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Give yourself hours to think about it.
But then if you say no, then it means that they thought about it and they still don't want to hang with me.
I feel bad even saying
I always feel pressure.
No, I always say, listen, I don't know, the kids and stuff, let me get back to you. You know what I mean? I say that to
That
you.
is healthy.
Yeah.
That is
That's a good boundary.
And then, you know what, on the flip side of that, there's other things I agree to because I'm just like in the yes moment. I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. And I swear, more than 90% of the time I go, I'm like, man, I'm so happy I came.
Yeah, that's
You know?
Right.
And you just got to get yourself out
Happy
there.
you're there, yeah.
True.
My mom, sorry to bring this to bummer time, but my friend's mom passed away over the weekend. And she said it was like just people who showed up that made the difference. And my rabbi always says, it's a saying, 99% of life, you don't have to do anything, just show up, just be there, just be there. What's that? No, I said it's a saying.
Welcome back to DBL. Over the weekend, Jamie Lee Curtis officiated her daughter's wedding. She posted this picture with the happy couple. They had a cosplay celebration where even the attendees were encouraged to dress as characters. So this got us talking about celebrities who have worn unconventional outfits and accessories for their wedding. So let's take a look at some. Cynthia Nixon, Kat Von D, and Emma Thompson are just a few who chose brighter colors. I went to the Kat Von D wedding. It was phenomenal.
Your candles were there, weren't they?
Yep, and she was dressed in all red. She looked fantastic. Then Celine Dion wore a show-stopping headpiece.
I went to her wedding. She was wearing a headpiece.
Hey, if you want to hear my personal
I'm just kidding.
perspective, I'm here.
Funny.
But guess how much this headpiece weighed? 7 pounds. Yeah, that's a baby on her head.
A crystal baby.
Yes, Cardi B secretly got married in her bedroom looking very casual in a white tracksuit.
I like it.
Cindy Crawford said no to a traditional gown and wore a simple slip dress. And Yoko Ono's outfit was the definition of 60s style, a textured white mini dress, knee-high socks, and a white hat. And lastly, oh yes, Gwen Stefani wore a mini strapless dress accessorized with white fishnets and white boots.
Who are those two dudes?
Carson Daly. I was like, what are you
Who
doing
are
in
those
there?
two dudes?
That's her husband.
He officiated the wedding, Carson Daly, and then that's her husband.
Blake Shelton.
Who's the other guy? Oh.
Blake Shelton.
Her husband.
But I
Oh my
mean,
God.
why do you have just because he officiated your wedding? I would have in our wedding picture.
Okay, this is
You
not
would have
what the
a
conversation
you'd have a
is
picture with
about.
the person who officiated the wedding, yeah?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be with. I wouldn't be with my wife only on the picture.
I'm sure they had other pictures out. That's just.
But that's the one we show.
Okay, but
See?
I'm sure
that's why
there's
you don't take pictures
pictures
of
with
the
just
randos.
them. What did you guys think about all these different unconventional weddings? What did you think about the cosplay? What do you think? And cosplay, by the way, to our viewers, is dressing up as like your favorite character from a video game, a movie.
Yeah, it's like costume play. That's the short.
Yes.
Yeah. I think anyone should wear exactly. Stop it. I think anyone should wear exactly what they want on their wedding. And I was a bridal stylist for a long time, and I could tell you as they walked in what style they'd want by just their walk and their conversation. So sometimes you see, oh, this person's going to want a black sash, something kind of cool. This person wants a ball gown with a tiara. Some people want to do unconventional. And you just have to kind of find that out. I chose a really vanilla dress.
Let's see it.
And I hate it.
Why? Oh, it's
Like traditional.
very
Yeah, and I'm
traditional.
not.
You look so beautiful.
I don't
That looks like the
know.
picture when you go to the wedding place. And it's like, oh, these people got married 8 years ago. Yeah.
I feel like we look like we're running for office.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never felt like that dress was right.
But
so
do you
go
think,
be
do you think you'll appreciate it longer? And
No.
this is my question. okay?
I hate the dress. I'm so sorry.
So your advice is to hone in, whether that's cosplay or a red dress.
Be you. Really.
But I'd rather go traditional and have pictures like that because it's a beautiful picture, right? Cosplay, I think of like naughty sex.
Yeah, definitely.
For real.
Yeah,
like if you go to Comic-Con or something, we did that thing at Denver Comic-Con. People are there to have sex. Yes, they are.
Jeff,
Dude.
No. Jeff,
okay, I knew Al would get my back.
Let me get your back because this happened and I have the pictures and I've showed you. When my daughter had her 8th grade volleyball tournament in San Jose, California, your stomping ground, shout out NoCal.
Don't you dare compare.
I love Northern California.
Yeah, but I like
San Jose.
San Jose and Santa Cruz are two totally different
And first
cities.
of all, I'm not,
But okay.
I don't even know if that would be sex or kink shaming, but whatever. You know, I went there and half the convention center was a girls' 8th grade tournament for the state and the other half was furries.
That's very different than cosplay. These people spend a lot of time on their costumes.
A furry isn't a costume that you are currently playing in?
A furry is for sex. That's a different thing. It's a kink.
Not necessarily for sex.
Well, the cosplay really, people spend a lot of time because they're invested in that character.
Oh, so there's no sex with anything else?
Al, when we did the convention, what was the sexual energy in that room?
That's a you problem.
No, it's not.
Not when it's everybody
Okay, why?
at the convention.
Okay, what do you think Halloween is? To celebrate Halloween or to dress up real dirty and have some fun later on?
Listen, I'm not going to argue with that
Yeah.
point. However, there's a big difference to Tori's point between furries, that's a convention, and that's kink, and a fetish, and then cosplay.
I don't think furries are necessarily a fetish.
I think they are.
I don't think it's necessarily sexual.
Furries isn't a fetish?
I think a lot of it is sexual. Some people like to
The
just
majority
dress up.
is.
But I think people want to dress up like Wonder Woman and do that too.
Well,
I
they're
think it's
playing
all
us
under the same rainbow.
I think you're
Sorry.
right on.
That's a
shout out to Wonder
a
Woman.
Jeff and Al thing.
I
We'll be
agree.
right back.
This was
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no. Simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common, and the do not call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the do not call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the do not call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Did you know that shorter workouts can actually be super effective? It sounds too good to be true, but it's not. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. According to an exercise psychologist, even 1 minute of exercise can improve your health. Do this by building your heart rate over time. Start at using 60% of your heart rate maximum and aim to get yourself up to around 90%. Biking, stairs, even resistance training like lifting light weights can get your heart rate up, build muscle, and improve your overall health over time. So QB's a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kreska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy, and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found 2 posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So, no, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Victoria says, it's your wedding, do whatever. Is that Tori?
No,
Yes, it is.
shout out. No, it isn't. Good name.
Okay. Then we have Brandon. This is actually a very strong point. Isn't dressing like a wedding princess costume play?
Yeah. Well, you said tiara, and I thought that was the thing. I thought that was a strange thing, but you thought that was
very common now.
To get married in a
very common. We had a whole tiara section.
Do you tell people not to do that because that's super embarrassing?
I wouldn't suggest
and half the people you see will think you are insane. That's crazy.
DBL is new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
A
Same time, same place.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right.
No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with the knee now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A 10-year-old gets arrested for threatening to shoot up his school, the chilling text messages that tipped off police. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas talks about battling controversy in a new interview.
Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions.
An A-list actor goes unrecognizable for his new role. Can you guess who this is? And Tom Cruise has his biggest opening weekend ever with Top Gun Maverick. How the movie even brought grown men to tears.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Y'all just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We are back after the Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody had some downtime with the fam. What'd you do?
First of all, I'm walking around.
Paused.
I walked around a lot of lakes. I'm doing a lot of water, trying to cleanse and kind of go neutral. And then I bought a mattress. This is very exciting. And I started a new cross stitch.
Oh.
And I put my twinkle lights up with my peonies.
I love it. Your peonies are beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you so
really
much.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, you know what's crazy is that moment has passed where we make fun of you for your cross stitch. You're really good now.
Thank you.
I can't even make fun anymore.
The most divine pillowcases.
They're so cute.
Yeah,
the girls
I love
got
them.
skills. Yes.
Yeah.
I had a great weekend. I did the Vail Comedy Festival this weekend.
Oh, did?
So yeah,
Nice.
stayed up there. It was beautiful. That's me with the booker and me on stage. And then I found out my best friend in the world, Mark Petty, Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out Cleveland. He's the one that came up with calves. I told you. The guy that came up with calves is having a baby. So my best friend, and I'm the godfather. So like, big deal this weekend. Yeah, it was a big deal. And that's him with baby Ford, and then that's Ford all grown up. So that's a text we exchanged.
Wow.
Yeah, and then finally today's my mom's birthday. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Jackie. Yes.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday to her. What about you?
Wow, that was a good one. I got nothing, man. We just chilled with the family, barbecued, hung out with some neighbors. Same old, man. I keep it simple. Yeah.
I love it.
I took a page from Jeff's book.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I need to do a home project because being a mom, I'm always with the kids. I said, Mark, I want to do a home project. So what I did is I refinished our outdoor dining table.
Hey!
Completely refinished it. Look at the plants underneath.
We sat at that table.
Look at the plants under.
That's gorgeous.
Yep.
Is that a glossy black?
No, it's satin. I didn't want glossy. It is satin, and I had to strip it. I had to prime it. That's the old version. Look at the old version.
That's impressive.
Compared to the new version. So yeah, I took a page from Jeff's book and I did some home projects, and then our neighborhood pool, like yours, opened up. Sophie, for 2 years, has been contemplating going off the diving board. She did it.
No.
There she
Stop.
is.
No, here we go.
She did it.
And she did not hesitate. That's the thing you need in life. You just got to go do it. If you think about it, it's over. That's what's up.
So that's all we did. We did, you know, little Home Depot, little Bed Bath & Beyond, you know.
If there's time.
There's time. We're going to do a big shift because I know that we're laughing and we had a great weekend, but the reality is, sadly, gun violence did not get a break this weekend. That's That's what we're dealing with. There was at least 14 mass shootings from Saturday through Monday. That's hard to say out loud. Meantime, in Florida, police arrested a 10-year-old, yes, a 10-year-old, for sending a threatening text message about a school shooting. The sheriff said, quote, "Right now is not the time to act like a little delinquent. It's not funny. This child made a fake threat, and now he's experiencing real consequences." The sheriff also released the child's mugshot. We're choosing not to show his face. He is a minor. He's 10. Also in Florida, police arrested this 18-year-old after he posted a photo of a rifle, a handgun, and tactical vest online. He captioned the photo, quote, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest school." He has been charged with a felony. Tori, I believe you have additional details in regard to the 10-year-old.
I do. The 10-year-old text message is what we actually have. So these are the quotes. It first starts with, "I scammed my friend," and then there's a picture of money. Then it says, "I bought this," and it has an image of 4 assault rifles. Again, this is the 10-year-old. And then finally, the third one says, "Get ready for Water Day." That is in reference to the school-sponsored event in which he was going to do it. He says it was fake. The sheriff's response says, "If you press a trigger, the aftermath is the same regardless of your age." I'm glad that he had a perp walk. I'm glad that he had a mugshot.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Are you crazy?
No, because if a 10-year-old can get shot in the face and have to hide from a shooter, we can see a 10-year-old that's threatening to shoot others. I am so angry with no deterrence that at least something is being done. I know you guys disagree.
I am sorry, Sam.
Please,
I'm talking over you. We had a chance to do something, and we stood outside and held the parents back. Having some kind of, like, photographic image to, like, show the people, like, some kind of propaganda, like we're doing something about it. We had a chance to do something about it, and the cops with their heavy assault rifles stood outside. So I think showing a picture and giving some lip service to, like, this is what's going to happen to you. No, we need to put in real. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if that's going to help.
But I'm saying this is one wheel of the spoke.
And potentially ruining his life. Jeff, I want to hear from you.
I'm with Tori on this one. Listen, we are not doing anything. And I've sat up here multiple times and said, we're not doing anything, not even an orange road cone. This is an orange road cone, right? This is going to affect that child's future. He's 10 years old. If he has parents like myself, I would say, you don't post things like that. Now you're going to do the time or do whatever punishment comes your way, or if you have to go away to some sort of boarding school, whatever it is, it's something. It's one spoke in this tire that needs to be fixed. At least somebody's doing something. Maybe we prevented 2 mass shootings by these.
More.
Of course there is. But I'm saying we're doing nothing. Legislation is doing nothing. We need to, as Americans, start doing something. Even as crazy as it sounds, as a 10-year-old, if my kid was 10, it did something like this, I would want him to face some consequences.
Let me be crystal clear here. Should there be consequences? 1,000%. Should we use this child, just like we're using children to be the face, the soldiers of gun violence? Should we use this child and further shame them? In my opinion, no. Does that mean that they still have to go suffer those consequences? Yes. I don't think that the rest of their lives should be ruined. Let me just tell you how many other mass shootings occurred. Okay, over the weekend, or threats, I should say, that were thwarted. This is according to Shannon Watts. We all know her as the head of Moms Demand Action. I have my first meeting on Wednesday, by the way.
Bravo, Sammy.
So I am taking action. But there was an 18-year-old we just talked about in Florida, right, that was arrested. There is 4 teenagers in Texas that were arrested who were about to quote unquote, carry out a threat to a school. There's also a 16-year-old in Queens who was arrested for threatening to shoot up his school. There's a list too long for me, unfortunately, to read to our viewers of how many kids were arrested over the weekend because of their threats. Now, of course, something needs to be done.
But the math is right, Sam. I sit up here and I give statistics and nobody cares. 700 mass shootings last year. Nobody cares. But do the math. That's almost double. 365 days in a year. After a week, that's about 14. That's what happened in the last week. The math is correct. It's right on.
Why do you think people are acting out? Why do you think?
I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's there's no repercussions. I'm not a senator. I'm not in charge of anything like that. But start doing something. I'm glad somebody's doing something. We stopped 14 mass shootings, right? 14 people were caught over the weekend.
Yeah.
We could be talking about something completely different. But unfortunately, there were a lot of shootings in Chicago over the weekend. There was a lot of shootings that we just don't talk about unless they top the last mark. You know?
Sad. It's really sad.
We have people to normally handle this. They're called senators.
Yeah, they've chosen to
and
do
why
nothing.
can't mental health and gun reform be right? Why is the far left all about gun reform and the far right all about mental health? Why can't both be true? Why can't you guys work together?
They do. 88% of them. It's just what we're being told. 88% of us agree. 88% of us.
Yeah, we don't matter though, Tori. They're the ones that are making
Well, vote them out. Vote them out.
Coming up on DBL, Leah Thomas is talking for the first time about the controversy, yes, surrounding trans athletes competing in women's sports. What did she think about being at the center of the backlash? And an A-list actor completely transforms for his latest role. Can you guess who this is?
Closed captioning provided by...
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're gonna get. If we're gonna be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day. Okay, let's talk in a second. I just want to.
I think we're gonna have to get used to these hard
I just
terms,
want to
guys.
say really quickly, if you dig deeper into the 10-year-old, that sheriff that he was arrested by, that sheriff doesn't do anything to help with gun legislation. That sheriff doesn't do anything to help with, is somebody that backs the NRA, somebody that, so instead of that sheriff using this child as the face to change gun reform, how about that sheriff and other people in positions of power start to do actual, real work when it curbs to gun reform?
You know, I look at the ages of the.
And the kid should have been arrested, though. I want to say that. I just don't think the kid should have been paraded around.
In the wheel, that perp walk. I think it's a deterrent.
But
I agree with Jeff.
But we're not talking about the sheriff who doesn't do anything to help gun reform, who's in bed with the NRA.
I agree, but we can't have all or nothing. I want something at least to be done, right? So if even one spoke is being done, and that spoke is, look at this guy on
Tarnishing
TV.
that child for the rest of his
He
life.
put out that I'm going to shoot up a school.
Tarnishing, how about tarnishing all the parents that were victims of just the Texas shooting alone? The ripple effect of 19 children, 2 teachers, 2 parents, one has a heart attack, one was murdered, now 4 kids. So don't, when there's a 10-year-old, one life at risk, when you prevent something like that, I'm all for it.
I agree, but I don't think the
okay.
kids should go ahead. No, you go.
I think that's where we need to go. I think there needs to be some punishment, almost like if you left your keys in the car and your kid took it and
But you're
did
not
something.
leaving your keys. You're talking about someone being mass murdered.
You're being
Very, very.
Welcome back. For the first time, we are hearing from Leah Thomas. If you don't know, she's the UPenn swimmer who was at the center of the controversy about trans women competing in women's sports. Now, a lot of folks think she has a competitive advantage over cisgender female athletes. Here's some of what she said about it on GMA.
Trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions. There are cis women who are very tall and very muscular and have more testosterone than another cis woman, and should that then also disqualify them?
Tori, what do you think about what she said?
I would just want a disclaimer. I know you do that a lot. I have 0 problems with people transitioning, and I'm happy she said it's not for the sport. I still have an issue here with just, in my eyes, her lungs are bigger, her shoulders are bigger. I know muscle mass is different because of what she has to do, but I'm not fully comfortable, I'll be super honest with you, in them racing together. And if that sounds awful, I don't mean it to be. I'm just saying I'm still learning. I'm still educating myself, I guess.
But what would the flip side be?
That trans people would compete against other trans. I know, and that's
There's not very many trans athletes,
Very
so
few.
you're segregating then.
Otherwise, though, is it an unfair advantage in a sport that's all about rules and games and a
But
fitness?
there's like 1 in a million. I just want to make that very clear. This isn't an epidemic. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, and there's not that many. And when we talk about competitive advantage, I mean, Jeff, you and I watch sports all the time. The first couple games of every college football season, it's literally a team that has 30 or 40 future professional players playing against like a team that probably was out at the bar last night. Small schools with less than 1,500 students. And it's a money exchange really between these large schools to warm up for the season and these small schools. There's a ton of competitive advantage that is really just disjointed and unbalanced throughout college sports. So I think the idea of just looking at fair and balance in terms of that issue is that's not the issue we should be talking about. The issue is, can you name another college female swimmer?
Thank you.
Because if you can't, then this is really just an issue about trans people. If you really are concerned about competitive balance in women's
but do
swimming.
you understand what I'm saying? When I think the body.
And I think something should be done. Like, we should have more research. But I don't know if it's just we're looking at this strictly because the people here are concerned about competitive balance, because we saw the difference in weight rooms when it was the women and the men's Final Four. So that wasn't an issue then. So why is it now?
Let me take your argument that you said about like bigger schools like Alabama going to play
and you
like
played college football,
right? To go play a school like me, right? We're not talking about college football teams with professional athletes beating up on a women's team. Okay, that's a totally different game. We don't do that because it's not fair. Right? So when someone transitions over, again, I'm with Tori on this. I have nothing against trans people or them trying to compete in anything, but as soon as you say that, this is why I'm against cancel culture and labels. You just get labeled transphobic.
I think we're having a pleasant conversation.
Right, but I'm saying people out there just say you're transphobic. I don't think it's fair, right? That's all I have to say. But on that same breath, we just talked about schools being shut up, what we should do about this reform and that reform. I'm more concerned about schools being shot up at the rate that they are, right? Yeah. As opposed to, hey, let's look over here and talk about trans athletes. And now I'm mad at that guy on TV for saying something I don't think he should have. Let's stay focused as Americans.
Maybe
in the scheme of things, I don't even care what you do. I don't care if you come in first or break a record, you come in last. I care about the future of our children. And we're so distracted with these little things that get on people's nerves, and then you lose focus on what's really important.
Can I just say something?
Even though it is important, it is important.
That sounded like a presidential kickoff
that
there, Jeff.
He's running. He's running. Look at him. Jeff's running.
I'd rather live on Gilligan's Island than run for president.
But that's kind of what we want. We want a president that doesn't really want to be president.
Is Gilligan's Island a real island?
I'll look for it.
No. Coming up, Dr. Coley is going to join us to continue this conversation from a medical standpoint. Does she think that trans athletes have an unfair advantage?
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but, quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no, simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT, and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common, and the do not call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the do not call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the do not call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion about Leah Thomas, and Dr. Coley joins us to give her expert medical opinion.
All right, Doc, let's get right. Yes, happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. We're going to jump right in. Now, does experiencing male puberty give trans athletes like Leah an unfair advantage against competitors?
I have to be honest, in my opinion, I think absolutely. Because there is a difference between a man and a woman in their lung size. So women have lungs that are 10 to 15% smaller than men. That's not something that's going to change with the hormones. Once you've gone through puberty, your bone density, your body mass, your muscle mass, all of those change. Now, some of that can be reversed with hormones like muscle mass, but not your bone mass or your bone size. Let's talk about the hand size. Men are just bigger, right? So if you're talking about a sport like swimming, and Sam, you know, your hands are used to propel you. So if you've got bigger hands, you're going to be able to propel yourself a little bit more efficiently. So I think it's just not a level playing field. I think we need to have trans women compete against trans women and trans men against trans men and have a cis and a trans category.
All right, so Doc, you were talking about hormone replacement therapy. Does that reverse puberty in any way?
It can't. I mean, think about it. And you can hear in Leah Thomas's voice, it is so deep, right? That's not something you can reverse. So it's almost changes the cells in your body in a way that some of those changes can't be reversed. Now, some things can get reversed. So muscle mass is one of them. Blood counts, which tend to be higher in men, if you switch them to estrogen, the counts will go back to kind of what women have. And that's why they say that waiting period of 1 to 2 years to sort of help some things reverse. But everything just doesn't go back the way it was before. Now, it might be totally different had she transitioned before puberty.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I didn't even think about that. But is that something that is ethical to do?
I mean, kids are actually going trans. There's a lot of pediatricians that are writing books about kids on how to be trans, but the medical community is very divided about it because, as you all know, there's a lot of sexual identity issues that are normal during puberty, where you're exploring, you're not sure where to settle, and if you do it before puberty, it could potentially have more long-lasting effects.
Is it fair to say we just need to learn more? And in the meantime, just to be compassionate, right? And just have conversations like this without
it sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. You know?
We need to learn more.
Right.
We need to learn more, and I think that's the biggest thing. We need to fund research and science in this because it's now becoming something that more people are doing, so we need to learn more about it. As a cardiologist, I'm always at a loss when I see a trans patient because I don't know what their cardiovascular risk is. Should I put them in the male category, in the female category? How do I assess their risk and how do I treat it? So we need more research, Sam.
I never thought about that.
Maybe research will be done by you. We'll be looking at a big statue of you like you did all the research.
Oh, statue, I like that.
Wouldn't that be funny? Coley. All right, we are going to take a hard turn here, and I know that's not easy, but this is what we do on the show because that's how the world is. We can't ignore the tragedy in Texas and the mass shootings that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, or the 14 other mass shootings that happened over Memorial Weekend, just that weekend. Now, a lot of people out there blame this on mental illness, and from a doctor's point of view, can you say if you are mentally ill, will that cause someone to commit a mass shooting?
I am so sick and tired of hearing mental illness being blamed for these mass shootings. You know, as a medical professional, of course, mental health, mental illness, psychotic breaks, delusions can be a part of it. But that doesn't explain what's happening in our country, guys. We really need to think about these shootings as a public health issue. Because if you look at other countries where they have just as much mental health issues, perhaps even more, because they're underdiagnosed and undertreated, they're not having this kind of health crisis. The CDC just released a report a few weeks ago. Guess what the #1 cause of death is amongst our kids and adolescents?
Guns.
It's got to be guns. Related violence.
Here in the United States.
Highest cause, higher than anything else, and for the first time ever. And the curve looks like this. So to me, this is a public health issue. We cannot use mental health as a cop-out, and I think I'm annoyed when people say it's all mental health. And I like the point you made, Sam, which was that there's some mental health, but gun control and access to guns is a big piece of it.
I hope we'll get there. I really do, for our future's sake. Thanks, Dr. Coley. We appreciate you. If you guys have a question you'd like Dr. Coley to answer, write to us on social media or info@dailybosslive.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kreska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy, and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention, and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found 2 posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So, no, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. You may have seen this over the weekend. The Mona Lisa was vandalized on Sunday when a man disguised as a elderly woman in a wheelchair smeared cake over it. Not to worry, it's behind bulletproof glass. The painting was unharmed. The man who did it told the crowd in French, "Think about the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. This is why I did it. Think about the planet."
Yeah, this is, I'm not making light of this, but this is the mental health issue we're talking about. Like, in this person's head, he was like, you know what I'm going to do? Get some cake, and I'm going to change things. And this is why when we were talking about during the break, full disclosure, Jeff, about how the mental health issue is a lot of times used as a cop-out to the shooting. This person has real mental health issues, but this is how they manifest themselves. Somebody going through the painstaking process of getting a gun, having it sent to them, loading it, scouting the location, sending threats on Facebook, following up with those Facebook threats. That's not mental health. That's something that's dogmatic
It's organization.
and practical. Yes.
Yeah. Well said. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Tom Cruise has his biggest opening weekend ever with Top Gun Maverick. How the movie even brought grown men to tears. And can you guess this actor who transformed for his latest role? A lot of people say he's unrecognizable. We'll reveal who it is next.
We are sorting through some of these claims to make sense of whatever we can following this shooting. So we want to verify, do mass shootings, defined here as 5 or more people injured or killed, lead to a spike in gun sales? To find out, we talked with Jürgen Brauer. He's the co-founder and chief economist at Small Arms Analytics and Forecasting, a research firm that focuses on firearms, and looked at 2 studies. The answer is a bit tricky.
It depends very much on which kind of mass shooting it is. Not all mass shootings are equal in their secondary effects.
Secondary effects, meaning how the media, lawmakers, and the public react to a tragedy. Studies show that a spike in gun purchases or background checks doesn't always happen. This 2019 Journal of the American Medical Association Network study found that from 1998 to 2016, of 124 major mass shootings, 21% were associated with increased gun purchases, but 17% were actually associated with decreases.
The shooting in Las Vegas a few years ago, or the shooting at the Orlando, Florida nightclub, those have not led to a really statistically noticeable increase in firearms demand and sales.
However, Brauer says experts believe the mass shootings involving young children seem to have the most association with increased gun sales. A 2017 Annals of Internal Medicine study found that in the wake of Sandy Hook, 3 million more firearms were purchased than in typical years. So we can verify that no, not all mass shootings correlate directly with an increase in gun sales. Whether or not this one will lead to that or any further firearms legislation, we'll be watching. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So one movie crushed the box office this weekend. Can you guess which one? Take a look.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking. Today's exercise is dogfighting.
2 versus 1? Hey, you gotta be kidding.
That's right. Top Gun Maverick not only won the box office, but it also broke a bunch of records. It is the highest grossing opening for Memorial Day weekend ever. It's also Tom Cruise's first film to go over the $100 million mark on opening weekend. And now it seems the movie has brought grown men to tears, with many sharing stories of hearing sobbing in the theater. This person tweeted, "Shout out to the guy next to me whose girlfriend made fun of him for crying at the end." Glenn Powell, who stars in the film, responded saying the flick should be a safe place for man tears. I hate that this is even a thing.
What? Well, it's funny. It's funny if you're crying and your girlfriend's making fun of you a little bit. It's kind of a funny thing. Because I do that.
I should have laughed. You're
no,
right.
I do that too. My wife.
Cry.
No, I cry like commercials now. My wife. Ever since I had kids, I've become more emotional. My wife's become the Tin Man. With no heart.
She told me that.
Yeah, and she doesn't care. And I'm like, oh my God, that Snuggles the Downy Bear is so cute. And she's like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So I want to go and have some man tears with this movie. But what I'm shocked about is this is Tom Cruise's first movie that went over $100 million in the opening weekend.
How is that possible?
That seems crazy.
Dude, no one going to the theaters anymore?
We just looked it up because I was like, there has to be a mistake. I assumed it made over 100. It didn't.
Well, I think because if you go see this movie in IMAX, a ticket's $198.
People went to see the
I believed you. I was like, that is expensive.
Did any of you see it?
I watched the original with Brooks, my husband, who had never seen it. Hold up.
Wait, what?
No.
Did you just say you watched the one from
30 years
1986, and may I just say, it's good to get a refresh if you're going to see a sequel. I'm going to go.
Did you see the sequel?
No.
Okay.
So then why?
Because I wanted to just let everyone know how good the original Top Gun is.
Do you think our producers had the question, has anybody seen the original
We've
Top
all
Gun?
seen the original.
We all assume
Recently?
that yes.
Jeff, did you see it?
I'm
surprised.
Full disclosure, we have a different show that we've discussed this. Tori went on for over 3 minutes, and I was like, so did you watch it? And she goes, no. After 3 minutes of talking.
Now, we all want to see it really bad. I'm surprised you didn't see it.
No, well, I asked my kids to go see it, and they didn't want to see it, but now I'm just going to go during the week. Plus, I didn't want the craziness if my kids are going to be a little rambunctious. I'm going to go see it during the week, get a matinee, hit the IMAX, maybe only $120 a ticket.
Okay. All right, so Netflix put out some
What was
new...
that?
I didn't even know what that was.
and then I just stopped. Apologies.
Okay, so some new photos to promote their upcoming movie, Maestro, and it's causing buzz on social media. That's because people are saying the actor is completely unrecognizable. First, let's see if we can guess the actor. So here's the photo making the rounds, okay? Who do you guys think the actor is? Now, I'm not going to ask Tori and Jeff because they already know, but Al, we don't know. I thought Steve Martin, but no. That's
No, it's a good guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My guess is going to be really bad.
Say it.
I think it's. Is it Ed Sheeran with like, you know, with prosthetics?
Singer?
Yes.
He's a singer.
I know.
He was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's the most random.
But can't you see it?
Ed Sheeran.
Yes, that's what I'm going.
As a leading man for a famous person, Ed Sheeran.
It was a shot in the dark. As you can see, I'm not really sold on it. I'm like,
You so reveal. You like heard Ed Sheeran's name like 30 minutes
Probably.
ago, and that's why you said it. Okay, I'm going to reveal it.
Here we go.
It is. Whoa. Bradley Cooper.
Yep.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
Whoa, good on
He
him.
looks just like him, doesn't he?
Amazing. The wrinkles on the face are unbelievable. And yeah, I know a lot about Leonard Bernstein.
You do, I know.
Yeah.
So talk to us, because he's a composer.
Conductor, very famous conductor, very Rodgers and Hammerstein level. So he wrote everything for West Side Story.
Why wouldn't you say John Williams level?
Because that's, I guess, because I also like Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Okay, sorry.
He does musicals too, Candide. I mean, and he's just a fabulous, if you ever study conducting or composing, he is like the top of the top of the top. So we got to choose who to be in school and pretend and give a list of who we were, and everyone chose cool people in history, and I chose Leonard Bernstein.
Wow.
Did you, Jeff, in college take conducting 101?
I thought you were talking about a train.
I did. Yeah. I was like, why did you tell us he was a dual threat? Yeah, that's.
No, he's obviously very respected, very
renowned. Yes.
Well, you know what I first thought of? I think Bradley Cooper is going to kill it, right?
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But we always jump to the other side, right? And go, well, how come an older gentleman couldn't play this part? Why does Bradley Cooper get this part with prosthetics? Why don't we have that same argument about this?
Because he's probably going to play him young. So he has to be able to do both.
Well, we don't know that, but why are we having that argument?
I love that you said that, Jeff, because I remember we had, I think it was Renee Zellweger on here, and she didn't want to talk about wearing a fat suit, which I understand, but she gave a very eloquent answer that I think no one ever talked about. On our show, she said it's a tool that an actor used to no different than if you put a muscle suit on for Superman. And so I like the idea of having an actor with prosthetics, but I do want other actors that do maybe, whatever.
To Jeff's point, we have Ray Vibe says they could have used Harrison Ford and used a lot less makeup.
No, I think he's going to play it younger. He was a big up-and-coming young guy, smoking cigarettes and writing deep into the night. I think you need that young face too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this story got us thinking about some other very famous transformations. Remember this one? Yup, Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers from the 2019 movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
But it still looks like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it does. That's not a
It looks just like
he just
Tom
put
does.
a tie on.
Yeah. He's holding a shoe.
Tom Hanks with a red sweater.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Wait, who's the guy on the left?
How about this one? Jennifer Hudson as the iconic Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Jennifer Hudson with an updo.
But she kind of, I thought the transformation would be like if you lost 70 pounds or something like that.
Oh, like the machinist?
Christian Bale. Yeah.
Well, maybe he's on here. Let's
That would have been a good answer when Megan asked me an hour ago. Yeah.
Okay, who can forget Lady Gaga as Patrizia Reggiani in the House of Gucci?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff's Italian. I just don't want to.
I'm offended.
Offend you.
Yeah, I'm offended.
Sorry.
It's I'm going to have to go talk to HR. You might get a call too.
Mamma mia.
Tori's favorite.
And Tori will be called down as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're in now. You and I.
Who?
Going upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but Tori, your favorite, Nicole Kidman is Lucille
come
Ball.
on.
Tori, come on.
I'm sorry, that's terrifying. That's stuff of nightmares.
What?
Look at her eyebrows. She looks nothing like her.
She does.
She looks just like her.
Dude, people online, please back me up. I know they will.
Let's see.
They can hear. I can hear them now.
Look, you need to talk to the people about your real issues with that.
I think you are not a cinematic actual fan. I absolutely saw it in when we were in Cape Cod with my father-in-law, and we both thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
How do you call Al not a cinematic fan when he throws out names like Ed Sheeran? He knows exactly what's going on.
You know the redheaded guy? The singer guy.
Who is that? Justin Bieber? No.
All right. Well, at the time of this taping, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is still in the hands of the jury. But Johnny doesn't look to be too nervous about the outcome because this weekend, I don't know if you guys saw this picture. I certainly did, floating around. The actor made a surprise appearance at a concert in England. Watch. This was strategic, Tori.
Oh, Dude, okay, you think you should have been doing that? I think it's a bigger question.
I'm so sorry to interrupt
What'd you say,
your snarky comment. What was
What'd you say?
Should he have been singing? I think is a bigger question. That was not great.
It didn't sound
That's like
great.
when your brother-in-law is hammered at your wedding. Like, I'm going to sing a song. It's like, don't. It's bad.
It was a Jeff Beck concert, and I 1,000% agree with Sam. To me, this is legal strategy. I'm already taking a victory lap. I already have the confidence. I'm so positive that this is going to go my way that I'm going to put myself back out as the Johnny Depp, the rocker. And I think maybe some juries will get word of this. Maybe they will feel it. The confidence is there. To me, complete strategy.
Okay.
I just think he's won already. I've said this on the show before. It doesn't matter the outcome. He doesn't need the $50 million, right? To that point, is moot.
Yeah. Jeff, you're like really becoming like something.
But that's not like a big word score if I spelled moot, right?
It's exciting though.
All right.
It's just I do like that you stopped and took a victory lap during mood.
Yeah, because I don't get to use it that often. But yeah, so he won either way. So in his eyes,
public opinion, he won.
Right. So I think he will start getting jobs back because where he came from before this trial started, Johnny Depp beats women and he's the scum of the earth, and now everyone's like, wow, I'm Team Johnny again. So in my mind, he's won, no matter what the outcome of the case is.
Apparently, Beetlejuice is looking at recasting him. Did you hear about that?
I heard.
Oh, that might be big.
Yeah, and like Winona Ryder?
I know.
Reunion. What's going to happen there? Interesting.
I think that would be huge.
I love me some Beetlejuice. Love.
Don't say it one more time.
Beetlejuice. I would love if he came right down here and sat right next to me. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Dude!
But now you said it more than 3 times.
Now he left because he's like, I don't want
everything.
It's very annoying. I'm leaving.
I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it looks like that COVID has started a new trend because according to experts, breaking plans last minute is the new norm. And our Tori knows this, in our post-COVID world, the pandemic.
Tori did it pre-pandemic as well.
Yeah, Tori does have a history
I'm not a flake. You guys think I am, and I'm not. I'm always there. Always. Almost too much.
If we had a body language expert on right now, you're lying.
Okay.
Yeah, your hands are out.
Okay.
So the pandemic made us accustomed to plans falling through, and apparently we are continuing that trend. Tori?
Oh my gosh. I'm not someone that cancels. I don't know why I got this. Maybe kind of ditzy and flighty, but I'm always there.
But what about other people? Let's talk about them too on the show.
Okay, but I'm simply saying that the new meme that you see is someone leaving, checking their phone, saying, oh no, we have to cancel, and they're like so excited to get to jump back in bed. That's just like what everyone's secret dream kind of is.
But why do you think it's last minute?
Yeah, why not tell me 3 hours before I got a babysitter?
Yeah, you didn't just find out.
Whoa.
No, I'm saying this imaginary person didn't. So like,
let's call her Maury.
I think you feel. Thank you. I've always shown up. 99% of life is showing up. I will say this. I think they feel guilty, and so they wait to the very end because they don't want to say no, and they wait.
I talked about that this weekekend.
What?
It's happening, like a lot of the COVID cancellations. And here's my theory. I think a lot of people during COVID realized, because I think about your husband a lot. Your husband like is very introverted. I think a lot of people were like, I like this lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep telling people I'm going to meet my staff out for drinks for a happy hour. Some people don't like that. Some people don't want to go to a banquet dinner for somebody's kid. And I think a lot of people are like, I want to go back to kind of COVID lifestyle. So they're starting to agree to things again, but they're like, I don't want to.
But then don't go.
Right.
Just don't say you're going to go. Just say I don't feel like going.
It's hard.
Instead of giving like an excuse that nobody's buying.
But it is. There's a guilt there. There's a sense of I don't want to say. For people pleasers, it's hard to say no, even though it's worse.
But then you
I know
cause
that
more damage.
I
will say when someone cancels on me, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. See?
Because I'm the introvert. You think my husband is? My husband goes and plays pool like by himself or with his dad all the time. Bert knows this. He's like shaking his head. And so does Chris. But for me, I'm the one that just likes to be on the couch and watch Netflix and just do nothing. So if I make plans with someone and then they cancel, I'm like, oof. Just chill.
But it has nothing to do with the pandemic for me. It's all about kids, right? If you don't want to go somewhere, kid threw up. But then you don't know if you're lying or not because they are just throwing up all the
Have you
time.
ever used that excuse and Leighton or Lawson didn't throw up?
I don't know if I have. I like going places. I like socializing. But a lot of times they just throw up. We missed our graduation. He just woke up, threw up, by graduation.
Where's the body language expert for?
Because I'm trying to think if Tori asked me, and I'm like, probably.
So mean. Coming up on DBL, Jamie Lee Curtis officiates her daughter's wedding in costume. We're talking about their unique celebration next.
Closed captioning provided by.
And I said, sir.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're gonna get. We're gonna be real. Let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
To Brandon Allen's point of view, who just writes don't be a people pleaser. I've spent a lot of money on therapy trying not to, so I appreciate that, but I need more help on that. It's not as easy. But I'm trying to please you.
When somebody invites you,
Okay.
I'll let it breathe for when they don't give you a date. They're like, oh, when you know when.
Don't go, I'm going to take it somewhere else with this costume.
Like,
go to them first.
Okay.
But yeah, if somebody's
we're not going to go to him first, though, Patty.
No.
He doesn't want to go first.
Okay, then, yeah,
Okay. People pleasing, can I be honest?
Because Brandon said that first talk
It's the
about
most inefficient waste of people's time.
Do you want me just to go right into it?
Inefficient waste of my time. Me and Sam share this. Go ahead, Sam.
She's a wedding planner or whatever.
I have been working really hard on changing that. And the one thing that I could give advice that I've learned through therapy is that if someone asks you to do something, instead of immediately being the people pleaser of like,
Which I do.
just say, let me think about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'll get back to you. No, just say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Give yourself hours to think about it.
But then if you say no, then it means that they thought about it and they still don't want to hang with me.
I feel bad even saying
I always feel pressure.
No, I always say, listen, I don't know, the kids and stuff, let me get back to you. You know what I mean? I say that to you.
That is healthy.
Yeah.
That's a good boundary.
And then, you know what, on the flip side of that, there's other things I agree to because I'm just like in the yes moment. I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. And I swear, more than 90% of the time I go, I'm like, man, I'm so happy I came.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Right.
And you just got to get yourself out.
You're happy to be there,
Yeah. True.
My mom, sorry to bring this to bummer time, but my friend's mom passed away over the weekend. And she said it was like just people who showed up that made the difference. And my rabbi always says, it's a saying, 99% of life, you don't have to do anything, just show up, just be there, just be there. So, what's that? No, I said it's a saying.
Welcome back to DBL. Over the weekend, Jamie Lee Curtis officiated her daughter's wedding. She posted this picture with the happy couple. They had a cosplay celebration where even the attendees were encouraged to dress as characters. So this got us talking about celebrities who have worn unconventional outfits and accessories for their wedding. So let's take a look at some. Cynthia Nixon, Kat Von D, and Emma Thompson are just a few who chose brighter colors. I went to the Kat Von D wedding. It was phenomenal.
Your candles were there, weren't they?
Yep, and she was dressed in all red. She looked fantastic. Then Celine Dion wore a show-stopping headpiece.
I went to her wedding. She was wearing a headpiece.
Hey, if you want to hear my personal perspective, I'm here.
Funny.
But guess how much this headpiece weighed? 7 pounds. Yeah, that's a baby on her head.
A crystal baby.
Yes, Cardi B secretly got married in her bedroom looking very casual in a white tracksuit.
I like it.
Cindy Crawford said no to a traditional gown and wore a simple slip dress. And Yoko Ono's outfit was the definition of 60s style, a textured white mini dress, knee-high socks, and a white hat. And lastly, oh yes, Gwen Stefani wore a mini strapless dress accessorized with white fishnets and white boots.
Who are those two dudes?
Carson Daly. I was like, what are you
Who
doing
are those
there?
two dudes?
And that's her
He
husband.
officiated the wedding, Carson Daly, and then that's her husband.
Blake Shelton.
Who's the other guy? Oh.
Blake Shelton.
Her husband.
But I
Oh my
mean,
God.
A world
why do you
famous-
have to, why do you have, just because he officiated your wedding, I would have in our wedding picture.
Okay, this is
You
not
would have
what the
a
conversation
you'd have a
is
picture with the
about.
person who officiated the wedding, yeah?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be with, I wouldn't be with my wife only on the picture.
I'm sure they had other pictures of that. That's just.
But that's the one we show.
Okay, but
See?
I'm sure
that's why
there's
you don't take pictures of
with
the
just
randos.
them. What did you guys think about all these different unconventional weddings? What did you think about the cosplay? What do you think? And cosplay, by the way, to our viewers, is dressing up as like your favorite character from a video game, a movie.
Yeah, it's like costume play. That's the short.
Yes.
Yeah. I think anyone should wear exactly. Stop it. I think anyone should wear exactly what they want on their wedding. And I was a bridal stylist for a long time, and I could tell you as they walked in what style they'd want by just their walk and their conversation. So sometimes you see, oh, this person's going to want a black sash, something kind of cool. This person wants a ball gown with a tiara. Some people want to do unconventional, and you just have to kind of find that out. I chose a really vanilla dress.
Let's see it.
And I hate it.
Why? Oh, it's
Like traditional.
very
Yeah, and I'm
traditional.
not.
You look so beautiful.
I don't
That looks like the picture when you go to the wedding place and it's like, oh, these people got married 8 years ago. Yeah.
I feel like we look like we're running for office.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never felt like that dress was right.
But
so
do you
go
think,
be
do you think you'll appreciate it longer?
No.
This is my question. Okay.
I hate the dress. I'm so sorry.
So your advice is to hone in, whether that's cosplay or a red dress.
Be you.
Be you.
Really.
But I'd rather go traditional and have pictures like that because it's a beautiful picture, right? Cosplay, I think of like naughty sex.
Yeah, definitely.
For real.
Yeah,
Like if you go to Comic-Con or something, we did that thing at Denver Comic-Con. People are there to have sex. Yes, they are.
Jeff,
Dude.
No.
Jeff,
Okay, I knew Al would get my
let
back.
me get your back because this happened and I have the pictures and I've showed you. When my daughter had her 8th grade volleyball tournament in San Jose, California, your stomping ground, shout out NoCal.
Don't you dare compare.
I love Northern California.
Yeah, but I like
love San Jose.
San Jose and Santa Cruz are two totally different
And first of all, I'm not,
But okay.
I don't even know if that would be sex or kink shaming, but whatever. You know, I went there and half the convention center was a girls' 8th grade tournament for the state and the other half was furries.
That's very different than cosplay. These people spend a lot of time on their costumes.
A furry isn't a costume that you are currently playing in?
A furry is for sex. That's a different thing. It's a kink.
Not necessarily for sex.
Well, the cosplay really, people spend a lot of time because they're invested in that character.
Oh, so there's no sex with anything else?
Al, when we did the convention, what was the sexual energy in that room?
That's a you problem.
No, it's not.
Not when it's everybody
Okay,
at
why?
the convention.
I'm sorry.
Okay, what do you think Halloween is? To celebrate Halloween or to dress up real dirty and have some fun later on?
Listen, I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
However, there's a big difference to Tori's point between furries, that's a convention, and that's kink, and a fetish, and then cosplay.
I don't think furries are necessarily a fetish.
I think they are.
I don't think it's necessarily sexual. I
Furries
think
isn't a fetish?
I think a lot of it is sexual. Some people like to
The
just
majority
dress up.
is.
But I think people want to dress up like Wonder Woman and do that too.
Well, they're
I think it's
playing
all
us
under the same rainbow.
I think you're
Sorry.
right on.
That's a,
So, shout out to Wonder
a
Woman.
Jeff and Al thing. I'll be right back.
This was...
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but, quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no. Simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common. And the do not call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the do not call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the do not call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Did you know that shorter workouts can actually be super effective? It sounds too good to be true, but it's not. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. According to an exercise psychologist, even 1 minute of exercise can improve your health. Do this by building your heart rate over time. Start at using 60% of your heart rate maximum and aim to get yourself up to around 90%. Biking, stairs, even resistance training like lifting light weights can get your heart rate up, build muscle, and improve your overall health over time. So QB's a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kraska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy, and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention, and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found 2 posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So, no, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Victoria says, it's your wedding, do whatever. Is that Tori?
No,
Victoria?
no,
Yes,
but
it is.
shout out. No, it isn't. Good name.
Okay. Then we have Brandon. This is actually a very strong point. Isn't dressing like a wedding princess costume play?
Yeah. Well, you said tiara, and I thought that was the thing. I thought that was a strange thing, but you thought that was
very common now.
To get married in a
very common. We had a whole tiara section.
Do you tell people not to do that because that's super embarrassing?
I wouldn't suggest
And then half the people you see will think you are insane. That's crazy
DBL is
town.
new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
The
Same time, same
tiara.
place.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with the knee now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yeah.
DBL is all new every day.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
A 10-year-old gets arrested for threatening to shoot up his school, the chilling text messages that tipped off police. Transgender swimmer Leah Thomas talks about battling controversy in a new interview.
Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions.
An A-list actor goes unrecognizable for his new role. Can you guess who this is? And Tom Cruise has his biggest opening weekend ever with Top Gun Maverick. How the movie even brought grown men to tears.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. We are back after the Memorial Day weekend. I hope everybody had some downtime with the fam. What'd you do?
First of all, I'm walking around.
Paused.
I walked around a lot of lakes. I'm doing a lot of water, trying to cleanse and kind of go neutral. And then I bought a mattress. This is very exciting. And I started a new cross stitch.
Oh.
So, and I put my twinkle lights up with my peonies.
I love it. Your peonies are beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you so
really
much.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, you know what's crazy is that moment has passed where we make fun of you for your cross stitch. You're really good now.
Thank
so
you.
I can't even make fun anymore.
The most divine pillowcases.
They're so cute.
Yeah,
The girls
I love
got
them.
skills, yes.
Yeah.
I had a great weekend. I did the Vail Comedy Festival this weekend.
Oh, did
So yeah,
Nice.
I stayed up there. It was beautiful. That's me with the booker and me on stage. And then I found out my best friend in the world, Mark Petty, Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out Cleveland. He's the one that came up with calves. I told you. The guy that came up with calves is having a baby. So my best friend, and I'm the godfather. So like, big deal this weekend. Yeah, it was a big deal. And that's him with baby Ford, and then that's Ford all grown up. So that's a text we exchanged.
Wow.
Yeah, and then finally today's my mom's birthday. So yes.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Jackie.
Jackie.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Happy birthday to her. What about you?
Wow, that was a good one. I got nothing, man. We just chilled with the family, barbecued, hung out with some neighbors. Same old, man. I keep
That's a big
it
deal.
simple. Yeah.
I love it.
I took a page from Jeff's book.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I need to do a home project because being a mom, I'm always with the kids. I said, Mark, I want to do a home project. So what I did is I refinished our outdoor dining table.
Hey!
Completely refinished it. Look at the plants underneath.
We sat at that table.
Look at the plants under.
That's gorgeous.
Yep.
Is that a glossy black?
No, it's satin. I didn't want glossy.
Got
It is
it.
satin, and I had to strip it. I had to prime it. That's the old version. Look at the old version.
That's impressive.
Compared to the new version. So yeah, I took a page from Jeff's book and I did some home projects, and then our neighborhood pool, like yours, opened up. Sophie, for 2 years, has been contemplating going off the diving board. She did it.
No.
There she
Stop.
is.
This is
No,
a
here we
moment
go.
of time.
She did it.
And she did not hesitate. That's the thing you need in life. You just got to go do it. If you think about it, it's over. That's what's up.
So that's all we did. We did, little Home Depot, little Bed Bath & Beyond,
If there's time.
There's time. We're going to do a big shift because I know that we're laughing and we had a great weekend, but the reality is, sadly, gun violence did not get a break this weekend. That's what we're dealing with. There was at least 14 mass shootings from Saturday through Monday. That's hard to say out loud. Meantime, in Florida, police arrested a 10-year-old, yes, a 10-year-old, for sending a threatening text message about a school shooting. The sheriff said, quote, "Right now is not the time to act like a little delinquent. It's not funny. This child made a fake threat, and now he's experiencing real consequences." The sheriff also released the child's mugshot. We're choosing not to show his face. He is a minor. He's 10. Also in Florida, police arrested this 18-year-old after he posted a photo of a rifle, a handgun, and tactical vest online. He captioned the photo, quote, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest school." He has been charged with a felony. Tori, I believe you have additional details in regard to the 10-year-old.
I do. The 10-year-old text message is what we actually have. So these are the quotes. It first starts with, "I scammed my friend," and then there's a picture of money. Then it says, "I bought this," and it has an image of 4 assault rifles. Again, this is the 10-year-old. And then finally, the third one says, "Get ready for Water Day." That is in reference to the school-sponsored event in which he was going to do it. He says it was fake. The sheriff's response says, "If you press a trigger, the aftermath is the same regardless of your age." I'm glad that he had a perp walk. I'm glad that he had a mugshot.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Are you crazy?
No, because if a 10-year-old can get shot in the face and have to hide from a shooter, we can see a 10-year-old that's threatening to shoot others. I am so angry with no deterrence that at least something is being done. I know you guys disagree.
I am sorry, Sam.
Please,
I'm talking over you. We had a chance to do something, and we stood outside and held the parents back. Having some kind of photographic image to show the people some kind of propaganda, like we're doing something about it. We had a chance to do something about it, and the cops with their heavy assault rifles stood outside. So I think showing a picture and giving some lip service to this is what's going to happen to you. No, we need to put in real. I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if that's going to help.
But I'm saying this is one wheel of the spoke.
And potentially ruining his life. Jeff, I want to hear from you.
I'm with Tori on this one. Listen, we are not doing anything. And I've sat up here multiple times and said, we're not doing anything, not even an orange road cone. This is an orange road cone, right? This is going to affect that child's future. He's 10 years old. If he has parents like me, myself, I would say, you don't post things like that. Now you're going to do the time or do whatever punishment comes your way, or if you have to go away to some sort of boarding school, whatever it is, it's something. It's one spoke in this tire that needs to be fixed. At least somebody's doing something. Maybe we prevented 2 mass shootings by these.
More.
Of course there is. But I'm saying we're doing nothing. Legislation is doing nothing. We need to, as Americans, start doing something. Even as crazy as it sounds, as a 10-year-old, if my kid was 10, it did something like this, I would want him to face some consequences.
Let me be crystal clear here. Should there be consequences? 1,000%. Should we use this child, just like we're using children to be the face, the soldiers of gun violence, should we use this child and further shame them? In my opinion, no. Does that mean that they still have to go suffer those consequences? Yes. I don't think that the rest of their lives should be ruined. Let me just tell you how many other mass shootings occurred. Over the weekend, or threats, I should say, that were thwarted. This is according to Shannon Watts. We all know her as the head of Moms Demand Action. I have my first meeting on Wednesday, by the way.
Bravo, Sammy.
So I am taking action. But there was an 18-year-old we just talked about in Florida, right, that was arrested. There is 4 teenagers in Texas that were arrested who were about to quote unquote, carry out a threat to a school. There's also a 16-year-old in Queens who was arrested for threatening to shoot up his school. There's a list too long for me, unfortunately, to read to our viewers of how many kids were arrested over the weekend because of their threats. Now, of course, something needs to be done.
But the math is right, Sam. I sit up here and I give statistics and nobody cares. 700 mass shootings last year. Nobody cares. But do the math. That's almost double. 365 days in a year. After a week, that's about 14. That's what happened in the last week. The math is correct.
It's
right on.
Why do you think
so
kids
people are
acting out? Why do you think?
I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's there's no repercussions. I'm not a senator. I'm not in charge of anything like that. But start doing something. I'm glad somebody's doing something. We stopped 14 mass shootings, right? 14 people were caught over the weekend.
Yeah.
We could be talking about something completely different. But unfortunately, there were a lot of shootings in Chicago over the weekend. There was a lot of shootings that we just don't talk about unless they top the last mark. You know?
Sad. It's really sad.
We have people to normally handle this. They're called senators.
Yeah, they're chosen to
and
do
why
nothing.
Can't mental health and gun reform be right? Why is the far left all about gun reform and the far right all about mental health? Why can't both be true? Why can't you guys work together?
They do. 88% of them. It's just what we're being told. 88% of us agree. 88% of us.
Yeah, we don't matter though, Tori. They're the ones that are making the
vote them out. Vote them out.
Coming up on DBL, Leah Thomas is talking for the first time about the controversy, yes, surrounding trans athletes competing in women's sports. What does she think about being at the center of the backlash? And an A-list actor completely transforms for his latest role. Can you guess who this is?
Closed captioning provided by...
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're gonna get.
If we're gonna be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yeah.
DBL is all new every day.
Okay, let's talk in a second. I just want to.
I think we're gonna have to get used to these hard
I just
terms,
want to
guys.
say really quickly, if you dig deeper into the 10-year-old, that sheriff that he was arrested by, that sheriff doesn't do anything to help with gun legislation. That sheriff doesn't do anything to help with, is somebody that backs the NRA, somebody that, so instead of that sheriff using this child as the face to change gun reform, how about that sheriff and other people in positions of power start to do actual, real work when it curbs to gun reform?
I look at the ages of the
and the kid should have been arrested, though. I want to say that. I just don't think the kid should have been paraded around.
In the wheel, that curb walk. I think it's a deterrent.
But
I agree with Jeff.
But we're not talking about the sheriff who doesn't do anything to help.
I agree, but
who's in bed with the NRA.
I agree, but we can't have all or nothing. I want something at least to be done, right? So if even one spoke is being done, and that spoke is, look at this guy on
Tarnishing
TV.
that child for the rest of his
He
life.
put out that I'm going to shoot up a school.
How about tarnishing all the parents that were victims of just the Texas shooting alone? The ripple effect of 19 children, 2 teachers, 2 parents, one has a heart attack, one was murdered, now 4 kids. So when there's a 10-year-old, 1 life at risk, when you could prevent something like that, I'm all for it.
I agree, but I don't think the kid should go ahead. No, you go.
I think that's where we need to go. I think there needs to be some punishment, almost like if you left your keys in the car and your kid took it and
But you're not
something.
leaving your keys. You're talking about someone being mass murdered.
Very, very.
Welcome back. For the first time, we are hearing from Leah Thomas. If you don't know, she's the UPenn swimmer who was at the center of the controversy about trans women competing in women's sports. Now, a lot of folks think she has a competitive advantage over cisgender female athletes. Here's some of what she said about it on GMA.
Trans people don't transition for athletics. We transition to be happy and authentic and our true selves. Transitioning to get an advantage is not something that ever factors into our decisions. There are cis women who are very tall and very muscular and have more testosterone than another cis woman? And should that then also disqualify them?
Tori, what do you think about what she said?
I would just want a disclaimer. I know you do that a lot. I have zero problems with people transitioning, and I'm happy she said it's not for the sport. I still have an issue here with just, in my eyes, her lungs are bigger, her shoulders are bigger. I know muscle mass is different because of what she has to do, but I'm not fully comfortable, I'll be super honest with you, in them racing together. And if that sounds awful, I don't mean it to be. I'm just saying I'm still like learning. I'm still educating myself, I guess.
But what would the flip side be?
That trans people would compete against other trans. I know, and that's
there's not very many trans athletes,
very
so
few.
You're segregating then.
Otherwise, though, is it an unfair advantage in a sport that's all about rules and games and
But there's like 1 in a million. I just want to make that very clear. This isn't an epidemic. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, and there's not that many. And when we talk about competitive advantage, I mean, Jeff, you and I watch sports all the time. The first couple games of every college football season, it's literally a team that has 30 or 40 future professional players playing against like a team that probably was out at the bar last night. Small schools with less than 1,500 students. And it's a money exchange really between these large schools to warm up for the season and these small schools. There's a ton of competitive advantage that is really just disjointed and unbalanced throughout college sports. So I think the idea of just looking at fair and balance in terms of that issue is that's not the issue we should be talking about. The issue is, can you name another college female swimmer?
Thank you.
Because if you can't, then this is really just an issue about trans people. If you really are concerned about competitive balance in women's swimming.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Where I think the body.
And I think something should be done. Like, we should have more research. But I don't know if it's just we're looking at this strictly because the people here are concerned about competitive balance, because we saw the difference in weight rooms when it was the women and the men's Final Four. So that wasn't an issue then. So why is it now?
Let me take your argument that you said about like bigger schools like Alabama going to play
and
like
played college football,
right? To go play a school like me, right? We're not talking about college football teams with professional athletes beating up on a women's team. Okay, that's a totally different game. We don't do that because it's not fair. Right? So when someone transitions over, again, I'm with Tori on this. I have nothing against trans people or them trying to compete in anything. But as soon as you say that, this is why I'm against cancel culture and labels. You just get labeled transphobic,
and then you're a pleasant conversation.
Right? But I'm saying people out there just say you're transphobic. I don't think it's fair. Right? That's all I have to say. But on that same breath, we just talked about schools being shut up, what we should do about this reform and that reform. I'm more concerned about schools being shot up at the rate that they are, right? Yeah. As opposed to, hey, let's look over here and talk about trans athletes. And now I'm mad at that guy on TV for saying something I don't think he should have. Let's stay focused as Americans. In the scheme of things, I don't even care what you do. I don't care if you come in first or break a record, you come in last. I care about the future of our children. And we're so distracted with these little things that get on people's nerves, and then you lose focus on what's really important.
Can I just say something?
Even though it is important, it is important.
That sounded like a presidential kickoff right there, Jeff.
He's running. He's running. Look at him. Jeff's running.
I'd rather live on Gilligan's Island than run for president.
But that's kind of what we want. We want a president that doesn't really want to be president.
Is Gilligan's Island a real island?
I'll look for it.
No. Coming up, Dr. Coley is going to join us to continue this conversation from a medical standpoint. Does she think that trans athletes have an unfair advantage?
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but, quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no. Simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common, and the Do Not Call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the Do Not Call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the Do Not Call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion about Leah Thomas, and Dr. Coley joins us to give her expert medical opinion.
All right, Doc, let's get right. Yes, happy Monday. Happy Tuesday. We're going to jump right in. Now, does experiencing male puberty give trans athletes like Leah an unfair advantage against competitors?
I have to be honest, in my opinion, I think absolutely. Because there is a difference between a man and a woman in their lung size. So women have lungs that are 10 to 15% smaller than men. That's not something that's going to change with the hormones. Once you've gone through puberty, your bone density, your body mass, your muscle mass, all of those change. Now, some of that can be reversed with hormones like muscle mass, but not your bone mass or your bone size. Let's talk about the hand size. Men are just bigger, right? So if you're talking about a sport like swimming, and Sam, you know, your hands are used to propel you. So if you've got bigger hands, you're going to be able to propel yourself a little bit more efficiently. So I think it's just not a level playing field. I think we need to have trans women compete against trans women and trans men against trans men and have a cis and a trans category.
All right, so Doc, you were talking about hormone replacement therapy. Does that reverse puberty in any way?
It can't. I mean, think about it. And you can hear in Leah Thomas's voice, it is so deep, right? That's not something you can reverse. So it's almost changes the cells in your body in a way that some of those changes can't be reversed. Now, some things can get reversed. So muscle mass is one of them. Blood counts, which tend to be higher in men, if you switch them to estrogen, the counts will go back to kind of what women have. And that's why they say that waiting period of 1 to 2 years to sort of help some things reverse. But everything just doesn't go back the way it was before. Now, it might be totally different had she transitioned before puberty.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I didn't even think about that. But is that something that is ethical to do?
I mean, kids are actually going trans. There's a lot of pediatricians that are writing books about kids on how to be trans, but the medical community is very divided about it because, as you all know, there's a lot of sexual identity issues that are normal during puberty, where you're exploring, you're not sure where to settle, and if you do it before puberty, it could potentially have more long-lasting effects.
Is it fair to say we just need to learn more? And in the meantime, just to be compassionate, right? And just have conversations like this without it
sounds like a cop-out, but it's not. You know?
We need to learn more. We need to learn more, and I think that's the biggest thing. We need to fund research and science in this because it's now becoming something that more people are doing. So we need to learn more about it. As a cardiologist, I'm always at a loss when I see a trans patient because I don't know what their cardiovascular risk is. Should I put them in the male category, in the female category? How do I assess their risk and how do I treat it? So we need more research, Sam.
I never thought about that.
Maybe research will be done by you. We'll be looking at a big statue of you like you did all the research.
Oh, statue, I like that.
Wouldn't that be funny? Coley. All right, we are going to take a hard turn here, and I know that's not easy, but this is what we do on the show because that's how the world is. We can't ignore the tragedy in Texas and the mass shootings that left 19 children and 2 teachers dead, or the 14 other mass shootings that happened over Memorial Weekend, just that weekend. Now, a lot of people out there blame this on mental illness, and from a doctor's point of view, can you say if you are mentally ill, will that cause someone to commit a mass shooting?
I am so sick and tired of hearing mental illness being blamed for these mass shootings. You know, as a medical professional, of course, mental health, mental illness, psychotic breaks, delusions can be a part of it. But that doesn't explain what's happening in our country, guys. We really need to think about these shootings as a public health issue. Because if you look at other countries where they have just as much mental health issues, perhaps even more, because they're underdiagnosed and undertreated, they're not having this kind of health crisis. The CDC just released a report a few weeks ago. Guess what the #1 cause of death is amongst our kids and adolescents?
Guns.
It's
got to be guns.
Related violence.
Here in the United States.
Highest cause, higher than anything else, and for the first time ever. And the curve looks like this. So to me, this is a public health issue. We cannot use mental health as a cop-out, and I think I'm annoyed when people say it's all mental health. And I like the point you made, Sam, which was that there's some mental health, but gun control and access to guns is a big piece of it.
I hope we'll get there. I really do, for our future's sake. Thanks, Dr. Coley. We appreciate you. If you guys have a question you'd like Dr. Coley to answer, write to us on social media or info@dailybosslive.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kraska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy, and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention, and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found 2 posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So, no, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. You may have seen this over the weekend. The Mona Lisa was vandalized on Sunday when a man disguised as a elderly woman in a wheelchair smeared cake over it. Not to worry, it's behind bulletproof glass. The painting was unharmed. The man who did it told the crowd in French, "Think about the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. This is why I did it. Think about the planet."
Yeah, this is, I'm not making light of this, but this is the mental health issue we're talking about. Like, in this person's head, He was like, you know what I'm going to do? Get some cake, and I'm going to change things. And this is why when we were talking about during the break, full disclosure, Jeff, about how the mental health issue is a lot of times used as a cop-out to the shooting. This person has real mental health issues, but this is how they manifest themselves. Somebody going through the painstaking process of getting a gun, having it sent to them, loading it, scouting the location, sending threats on Facebook, following up with those Facebook threats. That's not mental health. That's something that's dogmatic and practical. Yes.
Yeah. Well said. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Tom Cruise has his biggest opening weekend ever with Top Gun Maverick. How the movie even brought grown men to tears. And can you guess this actor who transformed for his latest role? A lot of people say he's unrecognizable. We'll reveal who it is next.
We are sorting through some of these claims to make sense of whatever we can following this shooting. So we want to verify, do mass shootings, defined here as 5 or more people injured or killed, lead to a spike in gun sales? To find out, we talked with Jürgen Brauer. He's the co-founder and chief economist at Small Arms Analytics and Forecasting, a research firm that focuses on firearms, and looked at 2 studies. The answer is a bit tricky.
It depends very much on which kind of mass shooting it is. Not all mass shootings are equal in their secondary effects.
Secondary effects, meaning how the media, lawmakers, and the public react to a tragedy. Studies show that a spike in gun purchases or background checks doesn't always happen. This 2019 Journal of the American Medical Association Network study found that from 1998 to 2016, of 124 major mass shootings, 21% were associated with increased gun purchases, but 17% were actually associated with decreases.
The shooting in Las Vegas a few years ago, or the shooting at the Orlando, Florida nightclub, those have not led to a really statistically noticeable increase in firearms demand and sales.
However, Brauer says experts believe the mass shootings involving young children seem to have the most association with increased gun sales. A 2017 Annals of Internal Medicine study found that in the wake of Sandy Hook, 3 million more firearms were purchased than in typical years. So we can verify that no, not all mass shootings correlate directly with an increase in gun sales. Whether or not this one will lead to that or any further firearms legislation, we'll be watching. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So one movie crushed the box office this weekend. Can you guess which one? Take a look.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking. Today's exercise is dogfighting.
2 versus 1? He's got to be kidding.
That's right. Top Gun Maverick not only won the box office, but it also broke a bunch of records. It is the highest grossing opening for Memorial Day weekend ever. It's also Tom Cruise's first film to go over the $100 million mark on opening weekend. And now it seems the movie has brought grown men to tears, with many sharing stories of hearing sobbing in the theater. This person tweeted, "Shout out to the guy next to me whose girlfriend made fun of him for crying at the end." Glenn Powell, who stars in the film, responded saying the flick should be a safe place for man tears. I hate that this is even a thing.
What? Well, it's funny. It's funny if you're crying and your girlfriend's making fun of you a little bit. It's kind of a funny thing. Because I do
should
that.
have laughed. You're
No,
right.
I do that too. My wife.
Cry.
No, I cry like commercials now. My wife. Ever since I had kids, I've become more emotional. My wife's become the Tin Man. With no heart.
She told me that.
Yeah. And she doesn't care. And I'm like, oh my God, that Snuggles the Downy Bear is so cute. And she's like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So I want to go and have some man tears with this movie. But what I'm shocked about is this is Tom Cruise's first movie that went over 100 million in the opening weekend.
How is that possible?
That seems crazy.
Mission Impossible,
Dude,
no one going to the theaters anymore?
We just looked it up because I was like, there has to be a mistake. I assumed it made over 100. It didn't.
Well, I think because if you go see this movie in IMAX, a ticket's $198. That's
People went to see
I believed you. I was like, that is expensive.
Did any of you see it?
I watched the original with Brooks, my husband, who had never seen it. Hold up.
Wait, what?
No.
Did you say you watched the one from
30 years
1986,
ago?
and may I just say, it's good to get a refresh if you're going to see a sequel. I'm going to go.
Did you see the sequel?
No.
Okay.
So then why?
Because I wanted to just let everyone know how good the original Top Gun is.
Do you think our producers had the question, has anybody seen the original
We've
Top Gun?
all seen the original.
We all assume
Recently?
that yes.
Jeff, did you see it?
I'm
surprised.
Full disclosure, we have a different show that we've discussed this. Tori went on for over 3 minutes, and I was like, so did you watch it? And she goes, no. After 3 minutes of talking.
Now, we all want to see it really bad.
Yes.
I'm surprised you didn't see it.
No, well, I asked my kids to go see it, and they didn't want to see it, but now I'm just going to go during the week. Plus, I didn't want the craziness if my kids are going to be a little rambunctious. I'm going to go see it during the week, get a matinee, hit the IMAX, maybe only $120 to take it.
Okay. All right, so Netflix put out some
What was
new...
that?
Sorry. I didn't even know what that was.
I went, and then I just stopped. Apologies.
Okay, so some new photos to promote their upcoming movie, Maestro, and it's causing buzz on social media. That's because people are saying the actor is completely unrecognizable. First, let's see if we can guess the actor. So here is the photo making the rounds, okay? Who do you guys think the actor is? Now, I'm not going to ask Tori and Jeff because they already know, but Al, we don't know. I thought Steve Martin, but no. That's
No, that's a good guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My guess is going to be really bad.
Say it.
I think it's. Is it Ed Sheeran with like, you know, with prosthetics? Yes.
He's a singer.
I know.
He's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's the most random.
But can't you see it?
Ed Sheeran.
Yes, that's what I'm going.
As a leading man for a famous person, Ed Sheeran.
It was a shot in the dark. As you can see, I'm not really sold on it. I'm like,
You sound weak. Reveal. You like heard Ed Sheeran's name like 30 minutes
Probably.
ago. And that's why you said it. Okay, I'm going to reveal it.
Here we go.
It is. Whoa. Bradley Cooper.
Yep.
Oh, I would have never gotten that.
Whoa. Good on him.
He looks just like him, doesn't he?
Amazing. The wrinkles on the face are unbelievable. And yeah, I know a lot about Leonard Bernstein.
You do, I know.
Yeah.
So talk to us, because he's a composer.
Conductor, very famous conductor, very Rodgers and Hammerstein level. So he wrote everything for West Side Story. On the
Why
music.
wouldn't you say John Williams level?
Because that's, I guess, because I also like Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Okay, sorry.
He does musicals too, Candide. I mean, and he's just a fabulous, if you ever study conducting or composing, he is like the top of the top of the top. So we got to choose who to be in school and pretend and give a list of who we were, and everyone chose cool people in history, and I chose Leonard Bernstein.
Wow.
Did you, Jeff, in college take conducting 101?
I thought you were talking about a train.
I didn't. Yeah. I was like, why did you tell us he was a dual threat? Yeah, that's.
No, he's obviously very respected, very
renowned. Yes.
Well, you know what I first thought of? I think Bradley Cooper is going to kill it, right?
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But we always jump to the other side, right? And go, well, how come an older gentleman couldn't play this part? Why does Bradley Cooper get this part with prosthetics? Why don't we have that same argument about this?
Because he's probably going to play him young. So he has to be able to do both.
Well, we don't know that, but why aren't we having that argument?
I love that you said that, Jeff, because I remember we had, I think it was Renee Zellweger on here, and she didn't want to talk about wearing a fat suit, which I understand, but she gave a very eloquent answer that I think no one ever talked about. On our show, she said, it's a tool that an actor used to, no different than if you put a muscle suit on for Superman. And so I like the idea of having an actor with prosthetics, but I do want other actors that do maybe, you know, whatever.
To Jeff's point, we have Ray Vibe says they could have used Harrison Ford and used a lot less makeup.
No, I think he's going to play it younger. He was a big up-and-coming young guy, smoking cigarettes and writing deep into the night. I think you need that young face too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this story got us thinking about some other very famous transformations. Remember this one? Yup, Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers from the 2019 movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
But it still looks like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it does. That's not a
looks just like
he just
Tom
put
does.
a tie on.
Yeah. He's holding a shoe.
Tom Hanks with a red sweater.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Wait, who's the guy on the left?
How about this one? Jennifer Hudson as the iconic Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Jennifer Hudson with an updo.
But she kind of, I thought the transformation would be like if you lost 70 pounds or something like that.
Oh, like the machinist?
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's on here.
That would have been a good answer when Megan asked me an hour ago. Yeah.
Okay, who can forget Lady Gaga as Patrizia Reggiani in the House of Gucci?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, Jeff. Jeff's Italian. I just don't want to
I'm offended.
offend you.
Yeah, I'm offended.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to go talk to HR. You might get a call too.
Mamma mia.
Tori's favorite.
And Tori will be called down as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're in now. You and I.
Who?
Going upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but Tori, your favorite, Nicole Kidman is Lucille
come
Ball.
on.
Tori, come on.
I'm sorry, that's terrifying. That's stuff of nightmares.
What?
Look at her eyebrows. She looks nothing like her.
She does.
She looks just like her.
Dude, people online, please back me up. I know they will.
Let's see.
They can hear. I can hear them now.
Look, you need to talk to the people about your real issues with that.
I think you are not a cinematic actual fan. I absolutely saw it in when we were in Cape Cod with my father-in-law, and we both thought it was absolutely ridiculous.
How do you call Al not a cinematic fan when he throws out names like Ed Sheeran? He knows exactly what's going on.
You know the redheaded guy? The singer guy.
Who is that? Justin Bieber. No.
All right. Well, at the time of this taping, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is still in the hands of the jury. But Johnny doesn't look to be too nervous about the outcome because this weekend, I don't know if you guys saw this picture. I certainly did, floating around. The actor made a surprise appearance at a concert in England. Watch. This was strategic, Tori.
Oh, Dude, you think you should have been doing that? I think it's a bigger question.
I'm so sorry to interrupt.
What'd you say,
your snarky comment? What was
What'd you say?
Should he have been singing? I think is the bigger question. That was not great.
It didn't sound
That's like
great.
when your brother-in-law is hammered at your wedding. Like, I'm going to sing a song. It's like, don't. It's bad.
It was a Jeff Beck concert, and I 1,000% agree with Sam. To me, this is legal strategy. I'm already taking a victory lap. I already have the confidence. I'm so positive that this is going to go my way that I'm going to put myself back out as the Johnny Depp, the rocker. And I think maybe some juries will get word of this. Maybe they will feel it. The confidence is there to me. Complete strategy.
Okay.
I just think he's won already. I've said this on the show before. It doesn't matter the outcome. He doesn't need the $50 million, right? To that point is moot.
Yeah. Jeff, you're like really becoming like something.
But that's not like a big word score if I spelled mood,
It's
right?
so exciting though.
All right.
It's just I do like that you stopped and took a victory lap during mood. You're like,
yeah, because I don't get to use it that often. But yeah, so he won either way. So in his eyes,
public opinion, he won.
Right. So I think he will start getting jobs back because where he came from before this trial started, Johnny Depp beats women and he's the scum of the earth, and now everyone's like, wow, I'm Team Johnny again. So in my mind, he's won, no matter what the outcome of the case is.
Apparently, Beetlejuice is looking at recasting him. Did you hear about that?
I heard.
Oh, that might be big.
Yeah, and like Winona Ryder?
I know.
History,
Reunion.
What's going to happen there? Interesting.
I think that would be huge.
I love me some Beetlejuice. Love.
Don't say it one more time.
Beetlejuice. I would love if he came right down here and sat right next to me. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Dude!
But now you said it more than 3 times.
Now he left because he's like, I don't want
everything.
It's very annoying. I'm leaving.
I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's like.
Okay, so it looks like that COVID has started a new trend because according to experts, breaking plans last minute is the new norm. And our Tori knows this, in our post-COVID world, the pandemic.
Tori did it pre-pandemic as well.
Yeah, Tori does have a history
I'm not a flake. You guys think I am, and I'm not. I'm always there. Always. Almost too much.
If we had a body language expert on right now, you're lying.
Okay.
Yeah, your hands are out.
So the pandemic made us accustomed to plans falling through, and apparently we are continuing that trend. Tori?
Oh my gosh. I'm not someone that cancels. I don't know why I got this. Maybe kind of ditzy and flighty, but I'm always there
But what about other people? Let's talk about them too on the show.
Okay, but I'm simply saying that the new meme that you see is someone leaving, checking their phone, saying, oh no, we have to cancel, and they're like so excited to get to jump back in bed. That's just like what everyone's secret dream kind of is.
But why do you think it's last minute?
Yeah, why not tell me 3 hours before I got a babysitter?
Yeah, you didn't just find out.
Whoa.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying this imaginary person didn't. So like,
let's call her Maury.
It's because I I think you feel, thank you. I've always shown up. 99% of life is showing up. I will say this. I think they feel guilty, and so they wait to the very end because they don't want to say no, and they wait.
I talked about that this weekend. What? It's happening, like a lot of the COVID cancellations. And here's my theory. I think a lot of people during COVID realized, because I think about your husband a lot. Your husband, like, is very introverted. I think a lot of people were like, I like this lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to keep telling people I'm going to meet my staff out for drinks for a happy hour. Some people don't like that. Some people don't want to go to a banquet dinner for somebody's kid. And I think a lot of people are like, I want to go back to kind of COVID lifestyle. So they're starting to agree to things again, but they're like, I don't want to.
But then don't go.
Right.
Just don't say you're going to go. Just say I don't feel like going. It's hard. Instead of giving like an excuse that nobody's buying.
But it is. There's a guilt there. There's a sense of I don't want to say. For people pleasers, it's hard to say no, even though it's worse.
But then you
I know
cause
that
more damage.
I
But
know.
I will say, when someone cancels on me, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, see?
Because I'm the introvert. You think my husband is? My husband goes and plays pool like by himself or with his dad all the time. Bert knows this. He's like shaking his head. And so does Chris. But for me, I'm the one that just likes to be on the couch and watch Netflix and just do nothing. So if I make plans with someone and then they cancel, I'm like, oof. Just chill.
Yeah. But it has nothing to do with the pandemic for me. It's all about kids, right? If you don't want to go somewhere, kid threw up. But then you don't know if you're lying or not because they are just throwing up all the
Have you
time.
ever used that excuse and Leighton or Lawson didn't throw up?
I don't know if I have. I like going places. I like socializing. But a lot of times they just throw up. We missed our graduation. He just woke up, threw up by graduation.
Where's the body language expert for?
Because I'm trying to think if Tori asked me and I'm like, probably.
So mean. Coming up on DBL, Jamie Lee Curtis officiates her daughter's wedding in costume. We're talking about their unique celebration next.
Closed captioning provided by.
And I said, sir.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're gonna get. If we're gonna be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
To Brandon Allen's point of view, who just writes, don't be a people pleaser. I've spent a lot of money on therapy trying not to, so I appreciate that, but I need more help on that. It's not as easy. But I'm trying to please you.
Okay.
I'll let it breathe for a minute.
They don't give you a date. They're like, oh, when
Don't go. I'm going to take it somewhere else with this cosplay.
You know,
so
like,
go to them first. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, if somebody
We're not gonna go to him first, though, Patty.
No.
He doesn't want to go first.
Okay, then, go.
Okay.
People pleasing, can I be honest?
Because Brandon said that first talk
It's the
about
most
weddings.
inefficient waste of
Do you
people's
want me just to go right into it?
Inefficient waste of my time. Me and Sam
have
share
something to say
this.
about
Go ahead,
weddings.
Sam.
She's a wedding planner or whatever.
I have been working really hard on changing that. And the one thing that I could give advice that I've learned through therapy is that if someone asks you to do something, instead of immediately being the people pleaser of like, yeah,
Which I do.
just say, let me think about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'll get back to you. No, just say, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Give yourself hours to think about it.
But then if you say no, then it means that they thought about it and they still don't want to hang with me.
I feel bad even saying
I always feel pressure.
No, I always say, listen, I don't know, the kids and stuff, let me get back to you. You know what I mean? I say that to
That
you.
is healthy.
Yeah.
That is
That's a good boundary.
And then, you know what, on the flip side of that, there's other things I agree to because I'm just like in the yes moment.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't want to do that. And I swear, more than 90% of the time I go, I'm like, man, I'm so happy I can.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know?
Right.
And you just got to get yourself out.
Happy you're there, yeah.
True.
My mom, sorry to bring this to bummer time, but my friend's mom passed away over the weekend. And she said it was like just people who showed up that made the difference. And my rabbi always says, it's a saying, 99% of life, you don't have to do anything, just show up, just be there, just be there. What's that? No, I said just saying.
Welcome back to DBL. Over the weekend, Jamie Lee Curtis officiated her daughter's wedding. She posted this picture with the happy couple. They had a cosplay celebration where even the attendees were encouraged to dress as characters. So this got us talking about celebrities who have worn unconventional outfits and accessories for their wedding. So let's take a look at some. Cynthia Nixon, Kat Von D, and Emma Thompson are just a few who chose brighter colors. I went to the Kat Von D wedding. It was phenomenal.
Your candles were there, weren't they?
Yep, and she was dressed in all red. She looked fantastic. Then Celine Dion wore a show-stopping headpiece.
I went to her wedding. She was wearing a headpiece.
Hey, if you want to hear my personal
I'm just kidding.
perspective, I'm here.
Funny.
But guess how much this headpiece weighed? 7 pounds. Yeah, that's a baby on her head.
A crystal baby.
Yes, Cardi B secretly got married in her bedroom looking very casual in a white tracksuit.
I like it.
Cindy Crawford said no to a traditional gown and wore a simple slip dress. And Yoko Ono's outfit was the definition of 60s style, a textured white mini dress, knee-high socks, and a white hat. And lastly, oh yes, Gwen Stefani wore a mini strapless dress accessorized with white fishnets and white boots.
Who are those two dudes?
Carson Daly. I was like, what are you
Who
doing
are
in
those
there?
two dudes?
That's her
He
husband.
officiated the wedding, Carson Daly, and then that's her husband.
Blake Shelton.
Who's the other guy? Oh.
Blake Shelton.
Her husband.
But I
Oh my
mean,
God.
well,
A world
why do you
famous-
have? Why do you have? Just because he officiated your wedding, I would have in our wedding picture.
Okay, this is
You
not
would have
what the
a
conversation
you'd have a
is
picture with the
about.
person who officiated the wedding, yeah?
Yeah, but that wouldn't be with. I wouldn't be with my wife only on the picture.
I'm sure they had other pictures in that. That's just.
But that's the one we show.
Okay, but
See?
I'm sure
that's why
there's
you don't take pictures
with
of the
just
randos.
them. What did you guys think about all these different unconventional weddings? What did you think about the cosplay? What do you think? And cosplay, by the way, to our viewers, is dressing up as like your favorite character from a video game, a movie.
Yeah, it's like costume play. That's the short.
Yes.
Yeah. I think anyone should wear exactly. Stop it. I think anyone should wear exactly what they want on their wedding. And I was a bridal stylist for a long time, and I could tell you as they walked in what style they'd want by just their walk and their conversation. So sometimes you see, oh, this person's going to want a black sash, something kind of cool. This person wants a ball gown with a tiara. Some people want to do unconventional. And you just have to kind of find that out. I chose a really vanilla dress.
Let's see it.
And I hate it.
Why? Oh, it's
Like traditional.
very
Yeah, and I'm
traditional.
not.
You look so beautiful.
I don't
That looks like the picture when you go to the wedding place. It's like, oh, these people got married 8 years ago. Yeah.
I feel like we look like we're running for office.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I've never felt like that dress was right.
But
so
do you
go
think,
be
do you think you'll appreciate it longer? And
No.
this is my question. Okay.
I hate the dress. I'm so sorry.
So your advice is to hone in, whether that's cosplay or a red dress.
Be you. Really.
But I'd rather go traditional and have pictures like that because it's a beautiful picture, right? Cosplay, I think of like naughty sex.
Yeah, definitely.
For real.
Yeah,
Like if you go to Comic-Con or something, we did that thing at Denver Comic-Con. People are there to have sex. Yes, they are.
Jeff,
Dude.
No.
Jeff,
Okay, I knew Al would get my
let
back.
me get your back because this happened, and I have the pictures, and I've showed you. When my daughter had her 8th grade volleyball tournament in San Jose, California, your stomping ground. Shout out NoCal.
Don't you dare compare.
I love Northern California.
Yeah, but I like
love San Jose.
San Jose and Santa Cruz are two totally different
And first of all, I'm not,
But okay.
I don't even know if that would be sex or kink shaming, but whatever. You know, I went there and half the convention center was a girls' 8th grade tournament for the state, and the other half was furries.
That's very different than cosplay. These people spend a lot of time on their costumes.
A
and they're
furry isn't a costume that you are currently playing in?
A furry is for sex. That's a different thing. It's a kink.
Not necessarily for sex.
Well, the cosplay really, people spend a lot of time because they're invested in that character.
Oh, so there's no sex with anything else?
Al, when we did the convention, what was the sexual energy in that room?
That's a you problem.
No, it's not.
Not when it's everybody
Okay, why?
at the convention.
Okay, what do you think Halloween is? To celebrate Halloween or
Yes.
dress up real dirty and have some fun later on?
Listen, I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah.
However, there's a big difference to Tori's point between furries, that's a convention, and that's kink, and a fetish, and then cosplay.
I don't think furries are necessarily a fetish.
I think they are.
I don't think it's necessarily sexual. I
Furries
think
isn't a
I think
fetish?
I think a lot of it is sexual. Some people like to
The
just
majority
dress up.
is.
But I think people want to dress up like Wonder Woman and do that too.
Well, they're
I think it's
playing
all
as a-
the same rainbow.
I think you're
Sorry.
right on.
That's a,
Stop. Shout out to Wonder Woman.
Jeff and Al thing. I'll be right back.
This was...
At Verify, we go straight to the sources to tell you what's true and what's false. One of our viewers, Ginia, emailed us a question about a telemarketing call she got. She told us that she's on the do not call list, but, quote, ADT called and told me that just by answering my phone, I reinstate myself on their database list. Is that true? All right, Ginia, let's verify. Our sources, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, and the Federal Trade Commission. The TCPA is the law that governs what telemarketers can and can't do. If your phone number is registered on the do not call list, it says anyone trying to sell you something isn't allowed to call you. There are a few exceptions, though. One of them is if you have a, quote, established business relationship with a company. Then they are allowed to call you for up to 18 months after your last transaction with them. So if you pick up the phone and talk to a telemarketer, could that be considered establishing a business relationship? An FTC spokesperson told us, quote, no, simply picking up the phone does not qualify as an established business relationship. And even if it did, the law says the company has to stop calling you if you ask them to. We reached out to ADT and they said they take care to keep their databases updated and to follow the law. It is, of course, also possible that the call didn't actually come from ADT and was instead a scammer. In fact, the FTC says home security scams are common, and the do not call list can't stop scammers from calling you. The FTC isn't capable of blocking calls, they can only enforce the law. And scammers aren't following the law anyway, so they're not likely to abide by the do not call list. So no, answering a telemarketer's call does not take you off the do not call list. If you get an unwanted call, block the number and report it to the FTC at donotcall.gov. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. Did you know that shorter workouts can actually be super effective? It sounds too good to be true, but it's not. That's today's Focus on Fitness presented by QB. According to an exercise psychologist, even 1 minute of exercise can improve your health. Do this by building your heart rate over time. Start at using 60% of your heart rate maximum and aim to get yourself up to around 90%. Biking, stairs, even resistance training like lifting light weights can get your heart rate up, build muscle, and improve your overall health over time. So QB's a great way to get some quick exercise regardless of physical ability or age. Try their under-desk elliptical at home. Call 1-800-556-2089 or visit QB.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
With summer right around the corner, more people are running to the thermostat to cool down their home. But what are the best ways to save on your energy bill? Let's verify.
For these questions, we went to Logan Kraska, lead communications consultant at Duke Energy and the federal conservation program Energy Star. The first question, is it cheaper to leave your air conditioner on all day than to turn it off when you're gone?
If you're leaving home just for the day, it's definitely more energy efficient to keep your air conditioning turned on. Just turn it up a few degrees higher than you might set it for comfort if you were at home.
Kreska says the reason behind this is because it will take more energy to start up your AC and cool your home down. So we can verify that, yes, it is cheaper to leave your AC on all day. The next question, is there a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day? According to this graph by Energy Star, in the summer to save the most money, they suggest keeping your air conditioning at 78 degrees when you wake up, 85 degrees during the day, and 82 degrees when you're sleeping.
But if you're like me, those temperatures are way too hot. So Kreska suggests bumping up the temp to where you feel the most comfortable.
If you raise the temperature by just 2 degrees, this is, 2 degrees more than what you're generally comfortable with inside the house, what makes you feel cool. This is going to help you reduce your cooling costs by 5%.
So we can verify that, yes, there's a temperature you should leave your air conditioner at to save the most money throughout the day. And finally, will leaving the ceiling fan on all day cool your home?
Fans don't cool homes, they don't cool rooms, they cool people. So if you're in the home, turn that fan on.
The fan can cool you down about 4 degrees, so Kreska says it's good to keep it on when you're home, but turn it off when you leave to get the most bang for your buck. So we can verify that no, the ceiling fan does not cool your home. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Southwest Airlines is known for posting about its travel deals on social media, but some recent posts offering a free ticket drew a lot of attention and searches about the giveaway spiked on Google. So let's verify. Is Southwest Airlines giving away free tickets? Our sources are Southwest Airlines and the Better Business Bureau. Verify found 2 posts circulating from the Facebook page Southwest Air Fans, which is not an official Southwest Airlines page. One post asked people to write "done" in the comment section to claim their free ticket, and another asked people to fill out a survey. The real Southwest Airlines posted a warning calling these offers a scam. So No, Southwest Airlines is not giving away free tickets. The BBB says this is a classic giveaway scam, where a scammer's page makes a post with the intention of having it go viral. When it does, they use that audience to get people to do something more malicious, like fill out a survey with personal information. This is hardly the first time Southwest has been used in a scam. We found the airline posted a warning a few years ago. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Victoria says, it's your wedding, do whatever. Is that Tori?
No,
Yes, it is.
shout out. No, it isn't. Good name.
Okay. Then we have Brandon. This is actually a very strong point. Isn't dressing like a wedding princess costume play?
Yeah. Well, you said tiara, and I thought that was the thing. I thought that was a strange thing, but you thought that was
very common now.
To get married in a
very common. We had a whole tiara section.
Do you tell people not to do that because that's super embarrassing?
I wouldn't.
And then half the people you see will think you are insane. That's crazy.
DBL is new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with an E now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.